Do let's get that neck a couple, a little bit more stretches. All right, and we are live. Oh yeah, I wanted to give you some a little info, a little updates. Apparently on Rockfin, I think we have hit two. I think we're at 263 subscribers now.
Okay, there's growth. That's good.
hmm So it appears that and let me make sure that I get over and make sure this is live over here on Rockfin.
hmm
I just want to make sure before we actually start saying anything interesting,
Make sure
able
everybody
to put
tuned in.
get everybody tuned in. Let's say okay, stream will start in a few minutes. There we go. Go live. All right, cool. So it doesn't look like it's going to have that bad of a delay. Um, and it
That's good.
looks like we have three watching over there first. So make sure to tell them hello over there and welcome.
hmm John, what's going on, man?
All right, so let me hop back over to the YouTubes. I see our brother John is in the house.
hmm
Power to you, brother. Okay. Okay, so yeah, when I bring that up, I'll pull that article, Chris.
hmm
Cool. Well, let me. Well, that's right. Where are my manners? I guess since I'm a little bit off, and for those who don't know, why we started a little bit late, I had a little oral surgery earlier today, and so had to wait for the painkillers to kick in. Had a couple of extractions of some broken tooth, so broken teeth, trying to get my mouth straightened out. Uh, that's one of the I guess the good and bad, bittersweet things of when you have insurance. You can start taking care of some of the shit you've needed to for years. Like, a lot of people don't know. Like, I had a good decade or more where I didn't have dental insurance, and
Mm.
so for a lot of the dental work that I start fixing, because like the military, they give you shitty dental work. John will definitely know what I'm talking about. They give you this cheap ass amalgam shit that you can't even literally use anymore. It's illegal for dentists to use. And so, I see Streets is in the building. What's up, Street?
Streets.
And so that cheap amalgam, as it started breaking down, it started, letting stuff up under, and it started deteriorating. And sometimes the shit would just like fall completely out of my mouth. And then I have a fucking
Mhm.
crack too because I can't fix it. So I had all that dental stuff, all these problems near the back of my mouth, and now I got a little bit of insurance to be able to fix all that stuff. So
Yeah,
that
and
was
and dental work is not cheap. It doesn't even matter what you're going to do. Even just a little cleaning will set you back. So having
John
that
say
insurance.
his fell out. Exactly. I know I've had a couple of them, couple of those fillings they do fall out. And then they fall out, and now you got a weakened tooth that you're trying to eat around, and if you don't get that shit filled in fast enough or get a crown on it, now you got a cracked tooth that eventually you're gonna have yanked out. And
Or
so
it's
I
going
had
to
a
be infected, and then it's going to start smelling.
well, what happens is you get that crack in there, and so no matter how much you brush or floss or whatever you do, the shit starts
Mouthwash.
getting down in there. The mouthwash, the shit starts getting down in there.
hmm
And so then you have all kind of dental infections. And for those who think, well, dental's not as big of a deal, that's part of one of the reasons why I used to always complain about with Medicare for All, they weren't, including the dental part. Because if you're not
hmm
including the dental part, next thing you know, your dental issues start to affect the rest of your health. I mean,
hmm
when I was out that last weekend, I had to have the oral surgery where they actually had to cut into my mouth. They He's telling me that I had a bacteria colony that was up under one of those tooth. That's the reason why I kept getting abscesses over and over and over. And what was happening is that bacteria and stuff that's sitting in your mouth, you do swallow some of it. What's up, Bola? What's up, Born? Um,
Boring. What's up, man?
you swallow some of it, and your insides, your digestive tract, that acid in there will kill some of it, but some of it will start getting out, and then it'll start getting into the bloodstream, and it literally can kill you. So my advice to everybody, try your best to take care of your dental work and health. Don't like just push that off as if it's not as important as the rest of your medical needs. So let me double check over there. Rockfin, since Rockfin starts a little bit after, just want to make sure, see if we got anybody in there so that we can say hello. I see we got 5 currently watching over there, and I'm pretty sure we have more people who will be who are watching on either on Twitter through Periscope. So that said, how are you doing, sir? How are you doing, Chris?
Me, bro, I'm just hanging in there. Same old. I don't have much to complain about. I'm good, man. Just working hard, living life. I was on the beach earlier today. That's everybody know that's what I'm gonna do on a Saturday.
I can tell. I see that nice tan you got going on there.
Oh yeah, Ken, I'm working on it, so I'm trying to catch up. All right. I'm trying to catch up. That's it. But yeah, man, just like matter of fact, today I fell asleep on the beach. It felt good.
Like 50, he said, "Get a tan. I'm already black."
Rich, I'm already that.
And Mr. Streets was saying, "Feel you, bro. My first toothache last year, my wife called me a puss the way I was acting." Well, if you've been one of those people where you've been able to be fortunate and you've taken care of your teeth, and sometimes some people just get lucky. It's not even that they were necessarily taking care of this shit. It matters where you grow up too. The dentist I had before this one was telling me that where I grew up, he could literally guess where I grew up by my dental work. Now keep this in mind. I grew up in the Midwest. This is a dentist in California, and he was able to pinpoint what part of the country I grew up in by my dental. He said, "Yeah, I could tell by the fluoride levels. Yeah, you grew up in the Midwest. Let's see, what was it? Chicago, Kansas City? Yeah, Kansas City. How'd you know?" Yeah, so he was able to spot that, like, just because of my dental work. But yeah, without further ado, let's go on ahead and get the show intro up, and then we will kick into the show. Actually, no, before that, wait a minute. I guess I'll give you guys the topics. I'm pretty sure most of you guys have already seen in the headline, the thumbnail. But for those who are clicking it right now who haven't gotten the thumbnail, sorry, I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble speaking at first. I got a little bit of swelling, but I'm doing all right overall. Yeah, John said I've been spending $2,000 a year on dental. Keep wondering why people don't mention it in Medicare for All. And you know what? I guess I'll mention this at the top of the show. Tomorrow I will be filling in on Blue Moon Red Wine. So I will be guest hosting over there. We're going to talk about the former Yugoslavia, which broke down into the Bosnia-Kosovo War. We're probably only going to go about an hour. Possibly we're going to play it by ear. It might go a little bit longer, but we will see. And so that's an issue. And I know that Lucy talks a lot about Medicare for All. So I'll probably bring up Medicare for All and talk about some of those things too. So make sure you guys check that out tomorrow. Remember, Blue Moon Red Wine, and it should be 1 p.m. if you're Pacific, 2 p.m. if you're Mountain Time, 3 p.m. if you're Central, 4 p.m. if you are Eastern.
Marcus, to the dental insurance thing, it's weird, right? Because when you get a job, you get hired, they offer you insurance, health insurance, you get the health insurance, and then you have another meeting for dental insurance. And I don't understand how the dental is not part of your health, because let's just say you have an affected tooth. If that goes untreated, you can die. And I think death is a part of health, right? Or avoiding death.
I mean, at least as far as I know of. I mean, also another thing they don't think about is abscess. Like Mr. Streets was talking about, his wife was calling him a puss. You get those bad abscesses. Literally, that stuff that's in there is poisonous to you.
Yeah.
I mean, abscess can kill you.
Absolutely.
And I've had one where my whole side of my face was swollen, where they had to go in and literally cut a hole and then squeeze the juice out of it. and then like tuck gauze into my jaw. So I've had some dental issues. So anybody who has dental issues out there, I feel for you. Let's see. So
go make your dental appointment, floss, and all that. This message is brought to you by the Dentists Association of America.
My apologies for anybody else who were boring on this stuff. It's just, gotta take care of health, Okay, Unlucky Taco. Haven't seen Unlucky Taco here, but Lucky Taco says hello all. I hope you're all having a picante night. Okay. So hopefully you're having a picante night also. Whatever that means. I know picante is spicy, but I don't really. Okay. And there's our good buddy. Matt Marxist says, word is Yamagami. Yell, sick siempre taramis. Before putting two in the. Oh, wow. I did not know that that's what he screamed.
Did you watch the video? I mean, I didn't hear it.
I got the video. I got clips galore tonight, so that's why I'm glad that we're streaming on Rockfin. Also, that we will be backed up in case that they get mad and come out of us for copyright or whatever for all the videos that we have to share. Because I got it loaded down on all the topics tonight. We're definitely, as you guys saw, let me pull that up. The title of the show, Shinzo Abe. And for those who have been in a cave, Shinzo Abe, former president and prime minister of Japan, was just recently assassinated. Let's see. We will be talking about Jayland Walker. I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to title that. I just said we will talk about Jayland Walker. Boris Johnson, for those who don't know, and this will be brief. Boris Johnson resigned. And so we're going to go into that a little bit. Hopefully I can get to some of my friends from the UK and maybe we can talk about this sometime soon. We're going to, of course, since it happened and we only briefly touched on it last week, we're going to talk about what was going on in Highland Park, the 4th of July weekend assassination that happened over there. I see Lady Alex is in there. She says, hello, dear comrades. And I know Lady Alex will probably be over there on Rockfin, so I will be in the chat also checking you out. Not answering that person there. So we'll be talking about Highland Park. We'll be talking about Robert Crimo. And we will be talking a little bit about Sri Lanka. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to Sri Lanka right now, but it is going down over there. Oh wow! I was in Chicago when that shooting happened. Oh yes, yeah. We're definitely going to talk about that, Lady Alex. You should have linked up with John while you were there. John is a Chicago native, which, as I can't say enough, I love that city, even though it has its issues. Every city has its issues, so we're not even going to go into any of that stuff. But got a lot of love for Chicago and the people of Chicago. And so, we're going to talk Sri Lanka. And I guess I'll throw out a little something I didn't put in the headlines, but I don't know if you guys have seen what's going on with Russia and the whole pipeline stuff, but they say in the next couple of days they are shutting off gas to Germany. So that's something that we all, I believe, need to watch out for, and we'll probably be covering it sometime soon. Says, mainly in Indiana. Oh, well, you should reach out to Allie. That's Allie's neck of the woods. Hello, ICU. So, all right, without further ado, let's go on ahead and start the show.
We got ICU in the building. What's up, ICU?
Yeah.
Propaganda. Oh, boy.
Well, I guess let me back it up. Hopefully my internet's better today.
You were here because you have a question. Really get down to understanding this political matrix.
Out there, the stunt double. He walked out. He's got an oximeter on his back. I'm like, you gotta keep other. Marcus said on his other show. He was like, American politics is simply pro wrestling.
He became afraid of everyone because people were reporting on each other.
We're living out Minority Report too as well. And you know why? You know why we know that, boss? Because we've been reporting on it. Yeah, I know.
All the black people in this country be willing to take a reservation.
That's what the Nation of Islam was asking for. to put a couple of clips together.
It's crazy to see how much Martin Luther King really began to look like, damn, man, Malcolm was fucking right.
I mean, what is the elite's end game?
There's this assumption that as a Black commentator or Black journalist that you're not informed.
Relationships, that's a skill we have to learn.
It's even more kind of mind-blowing because we're supposed to be the multicultural space.
Trying to drum up money to keep the war machine going so they can keep the donors happy.
Yeah. Do the Chinese own part of that?
Began a long time ago. Ukraine has had a neo-Nazi problem for decades.
Proof of sanction, am I right?
I don't know if Domcopters will do it, but something's got to be able to save the world.
From the private industry here.
You know, like I say, people come on here and they can say stuff they don't normally say on their own shows, which is fine.
Oh, it's McDonald's. Whoop-de-doo.
Ooh.
And their cholesterol is going to go down. Yeah, good.
Look, we only exist because we have the biggest military, kid.
And silencing a person like Julian Assange. Because it affects everybody. And today, last week, believe you me, because they know who you are. They watch. They got people that's going out there. They don't want you guys having the conversations that you're having on this show. Mm-hmm. So it affects the political matrix today.
All right, and hello and welcome. You know, this is the Political Matrix, of course. I'm your Morpheus here with my good brother and colleague, Mr. Cy Lawson. And let me give a shout out. I see they have hopped in the chat over there on Rockfin. I see Radical Leftist. Hello, Radical Leftist. Got Leonard Trust Fund. What's up, Leonard? Let's see. What's good, everyone? Okay, Cy, that's you hopping in. Said I saw Twitter first, and I finally knew to come a few seconds later. Come here a few seconds later. Well, I am glad you are here. And I'm trying to build this over on Rockfin, so if you guys can, tweet this out or message this out, get more people involved. Let them know that we are on Rockfin. Of course, everybody's not gonna hop on the Rockfin. Some people are only gonna prefer Rockfin. So whichever platform you feel the most comfortable with, I welcome you on all. Let's see. Leonard says, everyone keeps wanting to apply weird numerology or Illuminati numbers to the kid in Illinois, but the 7 and the 4 on his face is more than likely representative of gangster disciples. I think so also. Somebody was, I don't know if this was like Photoshop, but I saw like 4 and 7 on his car also. So, I don't buy into the whole, I'm not into numerology or gematria or any of that stuff like some other people are. Those people were into that. If they see something and are able to figure something out and give us, a message, then cool. I will let them who specialize in that. So right now we're currently at 7 people listening over on Rockfin also. So excellent. I see my cousin Darius is in the building. What's up, brother? I see Glory is here. Glad to see you, Glory. And of course, let me know, Glory, if you want to hop on here, you can do
Glory,
it at any
what's going
time.
on, Glory?
I see Yipper is in the building also. Much love to Yipper. So yeah, if you want to hop on, or Ladarius, if you ever want to hop on, let me know. I'll always send you the link. Anytime.
Cuzzo, what's up, man?
Yeah.
No, you good.
So I guess what story would you? I guess we should start going with I guess we'll go with Shinzo. And I guess for those who are not as familiar with Shinzo Abe, I've always been familiar with him. I didn't know every single thing about his story, but as doing some research, I learned a little bit more stuff. And if there's anybody who's listening to this now or listening to this later, please, who does follow Japanese politics and who is very familiar in that area, I would love to sit down and have a conversation with you. Doesn't matter what your perspective are. If you're part of the liberal Democratic Party and support them, if you support the more conservative, if you're part of the Diet, doesn't matter. So whoever is on there. John says, I have a Rockfin account, but mostly on YouTube. But make sure, even if you follow us on YouTube, make sure to hop on to the Rockfin. Also, there's going to be some stuff which is only going to be going on Rockfin. For instance, I just put up the Nico interview that I had, and I separated it into 2 parts. That one, unless you follow me on Facebook, you can't find that interview because YouTube yanked it down. So you'll have to go over there to see it because we start going into some topics that YouTube doesn't like for us to talk about. I'll leave it at that. And then I did the part 1 and the part 2 of I did the part 1 and the part 2 of Joe Biden. Release they're older videos that I did on the What We've Been Thinking channel. But the third part, because that one got yanked down for copyright on YouTube, I uploaded it onto Rockfin. So, some of the stuff you're definitely only going to be able to get it over there. Let's see. Also make sure to buy McDonald's for everyone. Oh yeah, it's past. Well, that's right. It's not the 11th yet, so got to make sure to get her McDonald's.
She ain't get that. She ain't get them stamps yet, kid. They didn't fill up that card yet.
I would have Gonzalo Lira on if I can get Gonzalo Lira on. I don't have a problem with that at all. Even though I've talked to Chris about it, and I talked to Pasta about it. There were issues which I disagree with both of them on watching the interview, even though I thought it was a pretty good interview. But everybody doesn't necessarily come onto my channel. I'm not on everybody's radar, and I understand that. So, hopefully in time you guys will take me over the top and get me to that point where they will, want to have me on there. The door of Wilson's butthole. That is a hilarious name. Gonzalo Lira is the best person online. Yeah, I mean, I just like to talk to people who are either live in country or are able to go in country, because I think you're getting a different perspective. Any of us can sit there and talk about different countries from what we've read online or a video here and there, but I'd rather talk to somebody who lives in a country and it affects them on a daily basis, on a regular basis. I could talk all I want about politics in South Africa, but I don't live in South Africa. What happens in South Africa does not affect me. So I feel you. And Hitler lived in Germany. I would talk to Hitler too. I don't give a damn. I will talk to any of them. Just because I talk to a person doesn't mean that I have to adopt their policies or their beliefs. I can allow them to speak, and then I let you guys in the audience decide how you feel about what they're saying, if you agree with them or if you don't. That's how I see it. I mean, yeah, that's Pinochet. I don't care. Talk to Pinochet too. I would talk to I've talked about how I thought Batista was a horrible person. I'll talk to Batista also if he was still alive. So it does not bother me who it is. So let me grab this first clip.
Warren is stupid.
Oh Lord. Batman lived in Yes. Yes, please tell us of all the people that we don't know where they
Gotham and Metropolis are the same city. Just when the sun is up, it's Metropolis.
See, I disagree, but of course, no Midwesterner agrees with all you New Yorkers who always say, "Oh no, Gotham City, that's New York." We don't agree with y'all, right?
Of course, but we all know it is. But we can agree to disagree.
That what they try to say is what it is that Gotham is New York at nighttime and Metropolis is New York during the daytime.
Correct. Yeah, that's the only difference.
And I'm like, okay, tell yourself that. Tell yourself that. So let me share this on the screen. And warning, tonight we will have a lot of graphic videos. Also want to cite fair use. we're doing this to educate our audience and let them be able to have this information. So leave it at that. Shut up. I don't want to hear that nonsense.
If you know anything about the Bronx, it's probably true right now.
I agree with that one right now. Let's put that on the screen. Where is it at? I agree with that one.
Yeah, I mean,
right now, LA is kind of looking like it. I mean, one of these days, I'm going to show you guys I'm going to just put the camera on and just ride up and down some of these streets and show you some stuff. Because I've seen some stuff literally out here that I've never seen nowhere else in the U.S. Never. I mean, like when I was on the East Coast, they'll allow a certain amount of homelessness to kind of, but out here, you literally got people creating like duplex style, like, I mean, their own homeless apartments, you know, right on a main street. It's like, what the fuck? Why isn't the cop stop this shit yet? Oh shit. Oh, let me back this up, pause it. So if you guys have not seen this clip, and you know, regardless of how people personally feel about the man, condolences to his family, you know. But here is the video. So hold on. I guess we only have it complete full screen. We can go side by side. But this is the clip.
That's the weird, that's so weird how that happened.
Yeah,
because it was
I
like
mean,
the shot went off and nobody jumped.
Well, they jumped, but I don't think anybody took it serious, the first shot. Because if you heard it, it didn't sound like a typical gunshot. And those who out there are familiar with firearms out there, they'll know what I'm talking about. It had more of a firecracker type sound, not really like what you would hear in a standardized weapon. And then also you got to remember, keep in context, we're dealing with a country that has an extremely harsh and restrictive gun laws. And so gun violence isn't something that's very common in Japan, let alone in a setting like that. And so I think that probably threw a lot of people off. You know, what's your thoughts on that, Chris?
No, I mean, I just saw this video for the first time. I want to say like maybe 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. It was just kind of weird that the first shot went off. Everybody just kind of stood there. Then the second one, he just grabs his chest and falls down.
Was it his chest? I thought he kind of. Oh, he might have grabbed his chest. Let me go back. Let's see it again.
Yeah, run it back.
Because I looked like to me, I thought he just kind of slumped down, and then it's like he slowly realizing what happened. Yeah, what it looked like. Well, his arm did come across, and I think that could have been from, because he got hit in the neck, from what I heard.
Yeah,
that could have affected his, because he could have felt the pain just like a shot. I mean, a shot of pain going straight down his arm. That's a strong possibility. Yeah, Glory. We are going to talk a little bit about some of that stuff. I'm not going to go too in depth, but we will talk about some of that, because how I've always thought of it is when you cover somebody, you don't just cover that. You got to kind of go into what his legacy was in a sense. So we are going to have to talk a little bit about some of the things which weren't some of the things about his legacy that weren't that great. All right. I see we have 10 watching over there. Sweet. We have 10 live. Let's see. Let me get caught up on these Rock Fan comments because I do want to make sure that I'm giving a lot of love to Rock Fan over there. Let's see. Sorry jumping ahead. Just put this in the chat or subject anything you know about the history of gangs in Chicago since the 1960s. I do know a good amount, but John, I think, would probably know quite a bit more. I believe he's lived in Chicago most of his life, outside of his time in the military. 21 bricks in the Pyramid of the Black Power, and then the Chi and the excommunication, and the GDs tossed the bricks. Yeah, I'll have to come back to that because I'm not sure. You're kind of speaking way over my head there, Leonard. Says, are Japanese not accustomed to any sort of gun violence whatsoever? So maybe they had no idea how to respond. Oh, he said, "Oh, geez." Well, that's exactly what I was thinking, because they're not. If you grew up in an area where you never hear gunshots, you're not going to think to drop down. And that was the same thing I was thinking. I didn't really think that I think that he was just more shocked than anything. And the fact that it was a homemade weapon, it was just very crude. More than likely, the bullet didn't have high velocity on it. So more than likely, when it hit, it mangled. It did a bunch of different things. Just that slow reaction, to it. And then also, we got to remember, we don't know what the bullet was actually made out of. Was it metal? Was it lead? All those things make it different. So, gun laws, they're crazy. I mean, I think you're allowed to be able to have a shotgun with a perfect, with certain kind of permits to go hunting. Crazy laws there. Sound like World War I firearm. No, if you see it is something that's completely homemade.
It's crude as hell. Like, it's a bunch of duct tape, crude. And you really can't even see like what material he used because there's so much duct tape covering it.
I mean, this was literally like a kind of a one-shot thing. This guy apparently was
a double. It was a double-barreled handgun.
Double barrel. Yeah, I mean, but the way he obviously loaded this thing, it probably took a while to be able to get off a single shot, and I guess that first shot missed. But yeah, I think it was just more that he was shocked more than anything. I don't think like this is some kind of staged or fake thing. Unfortunately, I do believe that he lost his life, and I don't think that there was like anything else that was off about this, whereas sometimes we question some of these events. Now, granted, we never know what information can come out later, but yeah, I think he was literally out campaigning for the Liberal Democratic Party. Just a little bit about his background. He was 67 years old, I believe. Was the longest serving prime minister / president in Japan, serving 3 terms, a total of 9 years. And he was president during the time of Trump. Was it Trump, Obama, and I think George W. Bush? Were the 3 American presidents that he was in power during the time of. First coming into office, I believe, around 20. I mean, not overspeak. I think it was like 2011. And so it was like the end of the Bush era. He also came from a politically connected family. So not only was he prime minister, but his father was prime minister and his grandfather was prime minister. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
So he comes from a completely politically connected background.
Yeah, he comes from a political dynasty, no doubt. No different than a George Bush. Yeah, 2 pipes of wooden stock wires and tons of duct tape and shit. Yeah, and then it looked like he basically got an actual handle from some kind of actual firearm. Ruby Krill is here. She says, hello, everyone. Hey, everyone.
Ruby.
Yeah, Choosy's in the building also. Choosy says, shaking my head since September 11th. I don't believe anything. I haven't looked looked at every single video of this incident, but I do believe there's a possibility corrupt people want to disappear on paper.
It's an interesting point.
Yeah, I don't rule any of this out. That's what I'm saying, and I don't think we can rule anything out. Let me drop this one and let me bring up. I think I had another clip that I wanted to go into as far as Shinzo. Oh yeah, this one right here. Let's pull this one up, and this talks a little bit. This talks a little bit about his background. So I mean, I was just kind of giving you guys some things which I knew of off the top of my head. And I will bring in an actual real journalist to kind of speak more on this. Oh goodness, Prop is being silly again. Says, hey, I heard my name on the stream. Would love to come on your stream. Yeah, if it is Gonzalo Lira, I am on Twitter. Go on ahead, reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. But I'm pretty sure that's just Prop having fun. So have your fun as long as you don't get out of hand. JH says, so sad, what a stupid killing. Yeah, I mean, he was out of power, and what some people were and this was kind of rumors, this was not factual, because before the time that he got in there the third time, you were only allowed to run for 2 terms, equaling 3 years at a time, so 6 years. So him doing that third term, that was the first time anybody had actually gotten a third term. But he was, it was rumored that he was out doing some of the speaking and trying to push the LDP so that he could run for a possible 4th term. So I'm gonna share this clip with you all real quick. Like I said, it's clip heavy tonight, so hopefully we can get some insight and learn a little bit.
Is Japan's longest serving prime minister. In 2007, he'd also resigned abruptly as prime minister, citing ill health at that time. Here's a closer look at his long career.
Shinzo Abe came from a powerful political dynasty that already produced 2 prime ministers before him. In 1982, after a brief stint at one of Japan's top steel makers, Shinzo Abe entered politics to work for his father. His father, Shintaro Abe, a former foreign minister and the son-in-law of a former prime minister, was one of Japan's most influential politicians before he died of cancer in 1991. In 1993, 2 years after his father's death, Shinzo ran in his father's constituency in Yamaguchi Prefecture in the general election and won a seat. He eventually rose through the ranks of the Liberal Democratic Party. In 2006, he accomplished what his father had not been able to achieve. At the age of 52, Shinzo Abe became Japan's youngest prime minister since World War II. But his first stint as prime minister was disastrous, marred by scandals and cut short by health issues. In September 2007, Mr. Abe resigned, citing health reasons, shortly after his party suffered a crushing defeat in the upper house elections. Just as many had written him off, Mr. Abe pulled off a stunning political comeback by winning the 2012 LDP presidential election in a 5-way race. When the LDP returned to power in the general election that same year, Mr. Abe became the first former prime minister to return to the office in more than 6 decades. Since then, he had earned himself a reputation as a strongman leader who was ready to bulldoze through controversial policies. In 2017, the LDP changed its rules to allow party presidents to serve 3 consecutive terms for a total of 9 years. The following year, Mr. Abe won his 3rd term as party president, allowing him to stay in office until September 2021. Even though he has made history as the longest-serving prime minister, Mr. Abe was struggling to leave a legacy behind. Whether his radical economic policy known as Abenomics has achieved its goal of pulling Japan's economy out of chronic deflation is a matter of debate. Despite having more time in office than any of his predecessor, Mr. Abe was stepping down without achieving his long-held goal of revising Japan's post-war pacifist constitution. Michio Ishida, CNA, Tokyo.
All right. Let me hop back over. And so that's a little bit about what they said about his background and his rise. So hopefully that is hopefully that's insightful. When they talk briefly about some of his scandals, I figure that I will go in and try to talk a little bit about their scandals. I do have a couple of clips that I would like to add in. Kaya the Pissed Off Canadian says he was still running Japanese politics, came from a cult that wanted to rebuild the empire and deny World War II war crimes committed by Japan. Ooh, I wasn't going to quite say it that brutally, but I don't deny anything said in there. I've heard a lot of people really critique the fact that he would never make an apology for any of the crimes which Japan committed during World War II. And part of the big issue with that is you still have plenty of people who are still living during that time period and who are literally screaming and crawling out for the Japanese government to acknowledge the things which they've done. And some of those things goes into what Glory brought up earlier about the, about, I'm trying to figure a better name than what they called them. They called them comfort women. But what it was is they basically took a lot of women from Korea. I'm not sure if it was South or North or even both, or if it was even more area. But basically, these women were, forced against, well, a lot of these women were raped and murdered by the Japanese government, by soldiers. And so this is something which I've seen different people cover it before, even though I'm not, let's just be professional. I've heard propaganda. He's even covered it and showed some of those interviews. So, I mean, I'll give him a shout out that he did good work on that one. But yes, there are literal documentaries of some of the women who were talking about what was going on and how some of the women were committing suicide afterwards. Some of them were just killed. Some of them were forced to have, sex with men easily 20, 30 times a day. It was horrific from one of the stuff that I heard, and that's not it. Yeah, it's not it. What is it? Yipper says, let's put it up on the screen. Yeah, good. Well, John, you're right. If Obama's your friend, I'm not your friend. And Yipper says, so Abe is dead and Johnson resigns. What high profile is next? Well, we're going to talk about the other one, which is next.
Look at Joe Biden. Did you see him on camera yesterday? Or day before?
No, is the one where he's air clapping?
Well, no, that was the one where he was reading and he said, repeat, end quote. I was just like.
Weekend at Bernie's is starting to fall apart, huh?
Big time.
Yeah, it says, Leonard says, Mr. Abe seemed like his goal was dynasty rather than legacy. I really do think that, if you're looking over at China, the former rival, well, not former, current rival, because he had a lot of issues where he wanted to push back against China also for stuff going on with Taiwan. So he had that, and he was trying to form some alliances with Modi. So that's something that needs to be factored in also, because I don't know if people realize that India's kind of in a weird position. India is part of BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And at the same time, they're part of the Quad also, which is China, India, US, and Australia. And so it's kind of seems like they're playing both sides of the fence right now. So that's going to get interesting. Leonard says, outside of any scandals, how can you be a true champion of democratic process if you're willing to seek power for more than legally allowed by your national laws? And good point. He was really big on trying to circumvent the government to try to get more power. And I also one of the scandals that I wanted to bring up also was a big scandal, the kindergarten scandal. Apparently that there was a very conservative kindergarten that was being built, and he had donated a lot of money to the funding of it getting built, and it was also receiving some kind of it was a, I guess, disagreement or argument if it was getting government funds for that. And then it turns out that his wife was also going to be the principal of this kindergarten. So it was a lot of issues there with that. So, I mean, he has multiple, like, it wouldn't seem like big time corruption compared to what we see our leaders do over here, but he definitely did have issues of corruption. And then the biggest one was just his reluctance to acknowledge the crimes which Japan willingly did during World War II. And so that's part of the issues. I'm trying to find this one clip real quick. Get this clip up for you guys, and I want to share this one too. Hold on a second. Oh shit. Hold on a second. Let me pause that. It started going a little bit earlier than I wanted, but hold on a second. All right, here is the clip I wanted to share with you all.
A Chinese-American veteran has called for Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to apologize to China first for his country's atrocity during the Second World War. In an open letter to Shinzo Abe, Chinese-born Zhong-yi says he was 17 years old when the Japanese Imperial Army butchered hundreds of thousands of his fellow Chinese in the city of Nanjing. He says what the Imperial Army did to the Chinese people back then was nothing less than a Nazi genocide against Jews. He was born in southwestern China's Yunnan province in 1921. He served as a translator in the first American volunteer group of the Chinese Air Force, commonly known as the Flying Tigers, during the war. He moved to the United States in 1942 and has been living there since.
Yeah, and so that was something I wanted to throw in also because I know definitely, anybody who's roughly around my age will remember the era when everybody was real big into kung fu flicks. And if you think about a lot of times when they were showing the ones which it was talking about the 40s, it was always the Japanese who were always the ones who were committing atrocities. Even in the movies, they were always the bad guys in all those movies. And we realized, oh, wait a minute. This connects to real history. They were really doing this stuff back then. And so this is all talking about the same time period, a time period that wasn't that long ago. And there's still plenty of people who are still alive today, which remember, the atrocities which Japan did. Another thing that that Shinzo was doing, and this is probably the last thing we'll talk about on him, but he was trying to get away from the World War II Constitution, which they had as far as trying to be, as far as staying a pacifist nation. They have what's called a pacifist government, where they're not really allowed to build a lot of, a strong military and, a lot of those different things to kind of keep their military at a very, very small size where it's only a defensive force instead of being able to actually join. That's the reason why you don't see Japan joining a lot of these conflicts, which a lot of the other NATO allies are involved in, because back to that World War II pact. And he was trying to push for a reversal of that, trying to get back to a pre-World War II, mentality for the country as far as building back up. And so, that's just some of the things which was going on, which I don't feel that often get a lot of attention to. as far as Shinzo Abe or the nation of Japan, or if it is, it's all segmented and separated. So I kind of wanted to put all of those things together. So we're looking at the total package of what's been going on, and not only under his reign, under his father's reign, under his father-in-law's reign, under his grandfather's reign. I mean, this is literally going all the way back to, some of the people who literally set the pack. And when you look back to Japan's economy, which was skyrocketing for a moment and just it stayed in this kind of flat plateau for easily the last 30 years. And so that goes back all the way back to his father's time period. And so with them being tied to the US, a lot of these policies which they pushed for kind of, I feel have affected their government, or they've allowed for policies to affect their government negatively. So, I condolences to his family for his loss. But like we say, we're gonna tell the truth, the whole truth, and so we'll talk about what his actual legacy was. And I'm pretty sure people have more to say about it, but that's what it was. Mad Marxist says Shinzo Abe was a member of the sinister organization Nippon Kaiji. I have to look more into it. I've only heard a little bit about them, so I'd have to look into it. And if anybody else has more knowledge, one of these days I'm just have to have freaking Mad Marxist come on here, and because Mad Marxist is always dropping some good knowledge to me in the DMs, and I might have to do maybe some Rockfin streams to kind of go into that stuff, because I know I can't get away with some of the stuff that Mad Marxist sends me for YouTube.
When they said that he was killed, I was like, I didn't almost believe it, because you almost never hear about shootings in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that the shooting occurred, and when you look at the weapon, clearly, like, we see why no shootings happen. They don't have any guns. So this guy had to create the most crude version of a gun, but he got it done.
Well, I mean, and there's right now there's a lot of propaganda out there. There's a lot of information with just saying, oh, well, this guy was a Che Guevara, and they're trying to say that he's there's just a lot of stuff that they're, just like they do here. Whenever there's some kind of stuff go down, they try to tie them to, oh no, well, this person was a Trumper, or no, this person was Antifa, or this person. They're doing the same thing right now. So, I also thought that it was kind of, different for the fact of, when is the last NATO? I mean, granted, world leaders have been killed, but when's the last time we've heard of a NATO leader killed? I mean, the closest that I can remember is maybe Benazir Bhutto, when she was killed. What was that, like maybe early 2000s? And then before that, what was the last one? I mean, it's starting to get kind of, it became something that was kind of rare. So I don't know.
Years.
Oh, I guess.
He went ahead. Look, he went ahead and already made the picture.
That's
good.
One thing I do have to give credit, though, is that dude is a master troll. He's not just a troll; he's a master at trolling.
Yeah,
I mean, literally, if people want to become trolls, it's like he needs to be their Yoda and go to be the young Luke. But I also wanted to acknowledge, we got Lady Alex over here on the Rock Fins. Let's see, what did she say? Had a good comment.
Yes,
she
there
says,
is, Mad Marcus.
Ding dong, another psychopath is dead. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I look at all of these world leaders as, I mean, kind of harsh, but it is what it is. Most of the time they got to that level because they didn't give a shit about a lot of people. And
correct. They are psychopaths.
So, I mean, it is what it is, right? Speaking of psychopaths, Boris Johnson has has resigned. And like I told you guys, I actually got my clips loaded up today. Let me see, where is it at though? See if I actually sent it. Yes. Weon has been doing some outstanding work lately. Even though they are basically, even though they are still liberal leaning, they have been doing some good work. And so I do like to go to them for a lot of stuff. So there's a usurper in the chat, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing nice, at least for right now. So, you know, giving us some fun. Let's see. What was that? What was that comment I just saw there from Yipper? Rabbit hole. The U.S. or its oligarchs are somehow behind it. Boot sympathy. Thanks, Chris. Boot sympathy is for the party and get enough political points to overturn their constitution. Well, you do have the prime minister, which they have in there now. He's kind of a little bit more sympathetic to the U.S. and to the and to NATO. He's really kind of he's backed away from like a lot of the Abe, what they call it, the Abenomics, and he's kind of been more like, I would say, more like Abe's father, who's been kind of very, just there. So yeah, whichever the U.S. kind of policies which they want, he's perfectly fine with it. So yeah, let's show a little bit of this. This was fun.
I think it was a mistake 2 weeks ago to conflate the very sad and difficult case of a particular colleague.
Mr. Speaker, I apologize. I apologize unreservedly for the offence that it has caused up and down the country.
I think it's an extremely good, positive, inclusive, decisive result.
And when we had the biggest war in Europe for 80 years, Mr. Speaker, that is exactly the moment that you'd expect a government to continue with its work.
Yo, his hair, cousin. You said your cousin named Darius, right?
Ladarius, or you can just call Darius.
Pause it real quick, Marcus.
Yeah.
Ladarius made the comment. He said his hair, his hair always just looks like he just left a wind tunnel, or like Street said, look like he just got out of bed. It's like the sloppiest shit I've ever seen.
But do you want to hear a fact about it?
Yeah.
Do you know he does that on purpose?
I'm sure, just to make it look like, that he's...
Throughout his political rise, what he's done is, he literally has went to all the top schools. He's like a silver spoon rich kid, but because he knew that people didn't really take him as serious, what he would do is he would intentionally look like a goofball so that people would underestimate him. And so that's just kind of been part of his thing. He said, shit looks like a chicken that's probably got a few eggs in there. Or yes, I agree, a rat's nest. So this, like you already saw, they did a pretty good intro. We're just gonna watch a couple minutes of this, and they just run through some of his scandals. And I mean, I remember this stuff like at the time when they were happening. I didn't realize he had all of this baggage going on as a totality. And because we don't live in Great Britain, so we don't think about all this shit that's going on with this dude all the damn time. But this dude had a lot of freaking stuff going on, and from somebody who really hoped this dude didn't get into power, I'm very happy to see it go down like this for him. All right, so let's hop back into the clip.
Boris Johnson is often known as a master of political survival. Throughout the career, the UK Prime Minister has been lucky. He survived multiple scandals that would have sunk his rivals. But this time around, he faced a moment of truth. His ability to escape controversy finally ran out. Boris Johnson has now resigned, bringing his scandal-hit tenure to an end. So here's now a look at some of the biggest scandals that defined his premiership. The first one is obviously the Pincher scandal, the one that led to his downfall. Christopher Pincher was a Tory deputy whip until last week. He has since resigned after being accused of sexual misconduct. Downing Street had first said that Johnson was not aware of these allegations, but later, Number 10 issued a clarification. It said that the Prime Minister had initially forgotten that he was in fact informed about it in 2019. This led to mass resignations from the government. Ultimately, Boris Johnson had to step down. The second is obviously the infamous Partygate scandal. The term Partygate was coined to refer to a scandal over parties held in government, including those in Johnson's own Downing Street office. One lockdown party was even led by the Prime Minister himself. The gathering was initially to mark the departure of one of his aides, but when Boris Johnson walked in, he turned it into a party. Johnson started pouring drinks for everyone. He even poured a drink to toast his aide, Lee Kane. Remember, these parties were happening at a time when the country was grappling with COVID-19. Thousands were at home unable to meet or bury their loved ones due to the strict lockdown rules. Johnson was also fined for breaking COVID rules set by his own government. The third is a series of sex scandals which rocked the government. Lawmakers were accused of improper behavior and sexual misconduct.
What is a
This even led
political
to two
scandal
lawmakers
without
resigning.
sex?
In both cases, the Conservatives lost special elections held to replace them. The fourth is the Owen Paterson affair. Last year, a Parliament committee wanted to suspend Paterson for 30 days. Paterson was a Conservative lawmaker and a former minister. It was found that he committed a case of paid advocacy. What does that mean? It means he lobbied on the behalf of the companies that paid.
Can you believe that? There's literally a crime for lobbying while you're in office. How many of our politicians would go down if they had that law over here?
Him. Johnson had at first defended Paterson, but later said that it was a complete mistake defending the ex-Tory MP. And the fifth is what many call the redecoration scandal. Johnson's Downing Street flat was refurbished by a celebrity designer. This refurbishment even included gold wallpaper. Johnson usually receives an annual grant to redecorate, but the cost to redecorate was more than 3 times higher than what was allowed. The work was initially paid for by the Cabinet Office, but later it was found that most of the costs were funded by a Tory donor. Britain's Electoral Commission later fined the Conservatives £17,800 for failing to accurately report the donation that had paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, true. But the difference is most people are not in political life, though. So if you're not in political life or you're not a celebrity, you're not held to that standard per se. And in all honesty, in the States, you could survive a scandal like that as long as you don't really lie about it. I mean, Bill Clinton really only got in trouble for lying. He didn't get in trouble for the BJ. It was the lying and the perjury part. Good example. You said President Biden, Ukraine. That's exactly reminiscent, the same kind of stuff. And I mean, the difference is the UK media does not run cover for the politicians, whereas our American media completely runs cover for our politicians, especially if you're on the so-called left. Or let's just say if you're part of the blue party, you're on team blue, you get your ass covered. In Germany, Chancellor Olaf Scholz is under investigation for a tender party where 9 women were given date rape drugs. Oh, Lord. Matt Marxist, please send me that. Please send me that one. I mean, this reminds me of gosh, I'm forgetting his name from Italy, but the guy from the president of Italy, he got in a scandal, something similar like that, with he was supposed to be married and had all these young women, and I believe some of them might have been prostitutes. And yeah, oh, I don't know if you don't know about that, Chris. Yeah, the Italian president, prime minister, whatever they call him, he got
Who's that Berlusconi you're talking about?
Not Berlusconi. This guy came
after him. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yes. Wow, UK is weak. They clutch their pearls over this. These are scandals. Yes, these are scandals over there because the U.S. sets a record when it comes to corruption. That was his name, Prime Minister Conte. That was his name. Thank you, Hamza. The more money you have, the bigger your crimes. Well, and that's also Boris Johnson was. They believe that Boris Johnson was trying to basically tear apart the. Why am I forgetting what it's called right now? Shoot, their medical system. Gosh, why can't think of it? I'm drawing a blank. Anybody out there who can remember, please help me remember. But he wanted to start tearing apart their healthcare system so that they can start, turning it over to billionaires. I see we have a good buddy and friend. Independent Left News is in the building. So glad to see you, sir. Man? Let's see what else is in there. Oh no, please not go into this subject again. I felt like I needed brainwashing after watching the clip of him talking about being naked. Oh yeah, I got to traumatize you just a little bit, Leonard, just a little bit. Yes, the UK is America's bitch. Actually, most of Europe, I would say, is, because Europe right now, across the board, all of their economies are struggling. And the reason why their economies are struggling is because the United States have decided that they wanted to involve themselves in pushing up to the borders of Russia. And because of that whole NATO push, all of Europe is in trouble. So NHS, thank you, Lady Alex.
Well, hold on, Hamza. They took down RZA's Instagram yesterday. What was he talking about? Was he talking about Corona?
Never know. He be going into some stuff. I mean, Matt Marx's shared with me RZA when he was talking about NAMBLA. And we went into it earlier today. I mean, well, not earlier, but last week. Wow. I'm not surprised they took it down. IG tends to be more sensitive on anything political.
Yeah, so that's just how the cookie crumbles. We all know that if you start speaking too much truth, eventually they're going to start coming after your channel. Oh, and I guess I want to put out this this notice. Anybody who would like to, I guess, try to have some way to push back against some of the powers that be. Jimmy is it was his 7th IG account. Goodness. What is it? Jimmy is working on he's working on building up something. So reach out to me if you're interested, no matter where you are. We're trying to make this a nationwide thing, a way to push back against elites. A bunch of us different content creators are all trying to get together and put our heads together and come up with some ideas. So just reach out to me if you're interested in trying to find a way to push back against the elites. I'll leave it at that. Sorry I can't be more, but we'll just leave it at that. I was gonna say what happened in Japan never happens here, or very rarely happens here.
Well, I honestly look at it like this, anybody who can't see that something is different going on now than has been going on, and it's not happening in just one country or another country, it's almost like the safety net of the world has been ripped away, and anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, sure. Street, I guess, asked me something. Say, yo, Marcus, they say when people are hanging on your train, you must be on the right track. Exactly. I mean, I look at it like this. I know I've noticed some counts do pretty well and they don't get really any push. And then I notice some of the stuff that we talk about always getting some pushback on. We've just gotten, me and Chris have just gotten better at trying to reword the way we say things. So it makes it harder for the algorithm to really go after us. But we're still putting out the same information, you know. If you following what we putting down, hopefully you picking it up. I see Steven Torres is in the building.
Steve, what's up, man?
Yeah, it's not just Americans, no. If you're in Canada also, you know, let us know. You know, we're trying to push this and push back against. I guess I've said America because I guess I don't think about the fact that sometimes we do have, you know, plenty of people in different areas, different countries or whatever that are listening out. But that just means that you could possibly be a leader in your area and help get these things going. So just reach out. If you're not on Twitter, then if you're on Facebook, reach out to me on Facebook. If you're not on, and you should be able to find me easy, just type in Marcus Gage, and I have the show logo there. The same thing with Instagram. If you're not on Twitter, you're not on Facebook, go to Instagram. And if you're not on any of those, this is what I'll do. I will go on ahead and give you I will put my email in the chat. That way you can email me. So that way there's no excuse to not be able to reach out, and we're going to work on, I'll be able to get you guys that information and we can work on it. So I've just put it into YouTube. I will go over on to Rockfin and add it over there also. Let's see what you saying. Said, what's up with that? Russell Brand says what he wants to say. Well, what it is when you get to a high enough level, when you get big enough, you can get away with a whole lot more stuff because they know if they yank you down, there's going to be a lot more pushback because you got more people listening. So Russell Brand has 5.7 million listeners. Man, they do that. You're not only going to have Russell Brand's people who listen to him coming at you. You're going to have the Jimmy Dore who has around 1 million. You're going to have literally anybody who listens to Jimmy Dore and any other content creators who are in that Jimmy Dore kind of umbrella. I mean, not Jimmy Dore, but Russell Brand umbrella. All of them are going to be doing content on the fact of him going down, and it gets harder to keep him off when you do something like that. But if you keep a account which is, you know, under 10,000, oh, it's pretty easy to just yank them off, and you can get a little bit of fuss, but that's about it. Let's see. So let me make sure to put it over, put my email over here on Rockfin also. Let's see. Okay. And go. Yahoo.com. So yes, I just put my email over there on the Rockfins also.
Yeah, they got rid of Alex Jones like 3 years ago at this point. I mean, they didn't really get rid of him. They just banished him to his own website. But still, yeah, he's no longer as he's not on the tip of our tongues as much as he used to be.
Let me get and I'm gonna do a translation real quick for Uma. Dang it, I just had it. So I just had the comment. Crap. I keep partially getting it and then losing it. So yeah, I just gotta copy real quick, and then let me pull up a window. Because Uma always has some good stuff she's saying.
Oh, wow.
What?
Oh, this is what Hamza just put.
What did Hamza say? Because I'm not on YouTube right now.
Okay, I put it on the screen.
and paste.
There goes Kelly.
And
Kelly just joined
copy.
the chat.
And okay, now let's put this over here so we can put it on the screen. This is Oma's comment. And let me put it on the screen. Click. Oma says, but the one thing that worries me is that is the corruption movement. Because the news of assassination of Shinzo Abe is so popular, I don't know what corruptions take advantage of what people and don't know which. And I mean, good point there. Hello, Kelly. But that's just how this game works. The one thing you need to always keep in mind is that basically anybody who you see who has some level of power, who they're sticking a camera in their face on a high level, more than likely they're corrupt. That's the easy way. Because think about how much control that they try to do down to the lower levels to keep control over us and watch us and worry about what we're DMing to each other and worry about what you're searching. Hey, Baba. Baba's in the building. But the fact that they watch all the way down to our levels and that they try to censor all the way down to our levels, they're not going to allow somebody to get too high that they don't have some level of control over. And that's the reason why people like Joe Rogan, they're pushing back against his content. Even if he's not necessarily saying exactly what they have a problem with, the fact that he can accidentally say something and get a lot of people's attention, that's the problem for them. Let's see. When one thing is making a lot of news, what's not making the news? That's the reason why I'm always trying to cover all kind of different other content, which
all of them kids that I mean, all of those adults that Ghislaine sold those kids to. That's not in the news.
Yeah. Well, another thing is Les Wexner is not in the news.
Nope.
There was a whole lot of talking about, him. A whole lot of talk. I mean, it was a whole lot of talking about Epstein and a whole lot of talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, but no talking about who's funding them.
Yep. It's just a reference.
Shit.
He used to work with Wexner, and Wexner he pissed Wexner off. So Wexner did the honorable thing and severed all ties with Epstein. But
what it is he got sloppy, and and when he got arrested, and then Alex Azar had to actually try something, and then they had to let him off. That brought attention, and so the fact that he's like, all right, now you fucking up. Now you bringing attention onto us. Now we got to deal with your ass. And that's normally what, I mean, think about it. Anytime, think about these mob bosses who are like, all right, I'm going to send you out to go do X, Y, or Z. When you go and do it, you fine as long as you don't fuck up and get arrested. But the moment you get arrested, now they wonder, well, did you talk? Well, what did you say? Did you tell it? Well, we just got to get rid of the dead end. And even if you might not have said nothing, the fear that you possibly could have said something, or that they could lean on you somewhere down the road, they cut that dead end off. And that's the same thing with the Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell. He blew up their spot, so now they got to get rid of him altogether. No one's talking about India and the riots there, which I'm monitoring them. I'll say that. I'm monitoring what's going on in India as it grows. Sri Lanka is going crazy right now, and we're going to cover a little bit of that. Steven says if businesses can't expand onto the streets, then homeless can create a duplex tent in the streets and make their own communities. I mean, they're already making their own communities here. The only thing that happens is whenever something happens in LA, where it's going to be downtown, and it's an area where homeless people are, they just move them.
They just go with the raid.
Well,
literally.
Sometimes they tear them down.
Yeah.
But some of the homeless now have gotten to the point where they just put wheels on their stuff, and they literally can just wheel their whole like homeless kind of Fort duplex thing. Like I saw one guy, he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm getting insulation on mine, so he had insulation, like basically like siding put on the side of it, so it don't get as hot in there.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do when you're in those situations, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, so it is what it is, you know. Yeah, and like Kia says, the Clinton.
John, you said did they
Clinton
kill
cartel.
her? Who's he talking about?
Did they kill her? Still haven't seen her. No, Ghislaine, she's still around, which I wouldn't be surprised at. Like you guys see it in the movies sometimes, where they still have somebody on the prison rolls, but they're not in the prison anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if some shit like that happens. Now, do I think they're gonna kill her? No. Do I think that they will put somebody in there to do her time and let her get out? Oh, hell yeah. And then what'll happen is she'll end up popping up somewhere. And then what'll happen is, no, you guys didn't really see the real Ghislaine. And then if that kind of shit happens, then they will get rid of her ass. But no, she'll just disappear. And more than likely, she'll be the one who'll be actually running, you know, the whole little island over there. That's what's going to more or less happen. She's going to have to stay on the island. And then they'll find somebody to basically take her spot and go out there and be doing the recruiting now. And, you know, basically doing the glad handing with the elites. What the F is going on? Boris resigns. Abe is assassinated. Georgia Stones are. I forgot we didn't even talk about the Georgia Stones. Canada's internet is out. Something is definitely up. Wow. Well, I didn't know about that. Thank you for Baba Yaga for telling us that, because I didn't even think about Canada's internet being out. The Georgia Stones thing is. I say it all the time. I'm a person of faith. I've been telling people that we come into a head is coming to this, and when I can sit down with an atheist, I can sit down with a sheik, I can sit down with a Muslim, I can sit down with all of these different, even Christians, which even though we read from the same book, is not the same understanding. Even all of these people who are sitting from all these different faiths can all say, hey, we see something going on. Even I'm trying to remember, is it Lakota? I think it might be the Lakota tribe or Navajo. They're even saying that, hey, it's starting to look like prophecies are starting to line up. So if everybody in all these different faiths are all seeing prophecies lining in a certain way, I mean, think about it. When is the last time? I know some people say, oh, well, Christians are always talking about this, or Muslims are talking about this. There's no time when all of these people across all the different faiths are all thinking the same damn thing at the same time. There's something to it. Yeah, Sweden started the vaccine microchip ID. Yep, we reported on the chipping, not necessarily with the vaccine, which I don't know exactly, but we've been talking about that. Also, let's see, and then yeah, Street brought it up first. CERN, then the Guidestones, then Japan's former prime minister. Yeah, pay attention. The CERN thing, I don't know exactly how this is going to go down with the CERN shit, but keep an eye on it. I don't know what the purpose. I've been making fun of it.
They're trying to produce more dark matter, right?
Yeah, that's the purpose of CERN. It's supposed to be able to produce more dark matter, and
which is
actually,
the opposite of whatever. Yeah.
Well, not even just dark matter. They're trying to create what they call the God particle. The particle which created, supposedly, if you believe in evolution, this is the particle which most evolutionists believe actually started the whole solar system. And so that's what they believe they're doing with CERN. Some people think that they're just going to blow a big hole in the middle of everything. Some people are like, no, it's gonna start into the multiplex, and it's actually gonna break us into a different dimension. Yeah, I see Ali is in the building. Says they want to split molecules and move them into different dimensions.
Ali came through.
Shit.
What's
I don't
up,
know
Ali?
exactly. They're on some They own some different shit. That's all I'm saying. Mr. Street says the God particle is in you, but they don't have it. So they're trying to get it. Ooh, sick burn. And true. So the God particle or portal. That's what I'm saying. Some people have said that they're going to end up opening up some different dimensions, which, you know, hey, that's when you get into the end of days when you start messing with shit like that. That's where you're going to invoke the power, you know, that you don't want to unlock. I was making fun of people the other day. I said, what's going to happen is CERN is going to open up a portal, and it's going to make the Dark Overlord come through, and we're going to have Howard the Duck, you know, floating around playing guitar for us. I don't know if you guys remember that old school reference.
I know we like aging ourselves right there. Don't do that again, Marcus. Any references we make got to be like 95 and up.
Oh, that's right. I mean, well, we got to talk about. I remember when Barney was going off the air. But let's see. Shoot. Let me play this. Alrighty. And let's go on to my next clip that I wanted to go to. But yeah, but that Georgia Stones is some interesting shit. That's all I'll say on that. I guess we're gonna go into let's talk a little bit about what happened in Highland Park. I guess it's perfect timing that Ali would hop in here. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Where's the clip I need? That's what I told everybody. I said it's a little clip heavy. I thought that if I could probably bring up some of these clips, then it could. I probably wouldn't talk as much, but you guys know me. I can't help it. I'm still running my jaws anyway. But yeah, let me pull this clip up. And so this is the latest on what they have here. Just to get everybody up to date with everything that's going on with it. Let's see. Oh, shoot, wrong one. Yes, let me put this on the stream. When y'all get done, come by a secret show and chat with Warren. Yes, have a great night, brother. And you know, since I can't catch you live, I will. I'll probably maybe I'll try to hop in there if I can, and then come back, go watch the beginning. But yes, make sure to show some love to Extra Bulla on here and on the Rock Fan. I was hoping for Vanessa Beeley this show after the spat between you. Well, I've reached out to Vanessa Beeley, so I know she's a busy woman, and so you know I'll just wait till I hear back from her, and then we'll try to set something up. But yes, I am
Vanessa Beeley.
I am trying to work on that with Vanessa Beeley. For those who don't know, yeah, me and Prop kind of got into a little back and forth. You know, of course, you guys all know what it's about, but it is what it is. I'm the big China hack, whatever.
We got you, Warren.
I'm simping for China, so that's what it is. So I'll go ahead and play this clip, and I will be right back. Oh shoot! I mean, wrong button, man. A little bit off right now.
Live with the very latest details on this shooting. News Nation correspondent Kelly Beeson will join us with the victims. But let's start with News Nation's senior national correspondent, Brian Enton, also live in Highland Park. And Brian, you spoke exclusively today with people who knew the suspect.
Yeah, Nicole, they say that he was troubled, that something always seemed a little off with him. And now, just within the last couple of minutes, we're getting this new information from police about their history with him, that back in 2019, they were called to his home when he attempted suicide, and called a different time to his home when he reportedly said he was going to kill everyone with his collection of knives. New today, investigators say the attack on the Highland Park, Illinois July 4th parade was pre-planned and that 21-year-old Robert Bobby Crimo was in disguise when he shot into the crowd more than 70 times with a gun he purchased legally. This photo shows the 21-year-old in a wig dressed as a woman.
During the attack, Crimo was dressed in woman's clothing, and investigators do believe he did this to conceal his facial tattoos and his identity and help him during with the other people who were fleeing the chaos.
Ma'am, did you suspect Bobby? Did you suspect Bobby was capable of this? A woman leaving Crimo's parents' house would not answer questions.
Can I get a picture of it from your balcony? Would you mind?
But a neighbor let me up on his balcony and pointed to a strange painting on the back of the house. It's a character with a smiley face holding a rifle. Crimo had a music page online where he went by the name Awake the Rapper. His posts are filled with dark content.
I'll stop that real quick because I just wanted to go into something I found interesting. They took down his page, but I actually saw this video. Somebody else was sharing it. That person who was sharing it, they took down that person's page also. I'll give my comments on it, but I just found it interesting that these major news networks, they're able to show the video, at least part of it, and they keep this away from everybody else so that we can't show the video, but they can show the video because they're larger. This is another way which they try to frame the narrative so that they can give more of an imbalance to so-called authoritative news, and another way to kind of give a stiff arm to independent media, who a lot of us were onto this before they were. But yeah, that's what was that you brought up?
What was that? I think no, Ali was saying that he looked fake at first in the picture. Yeah, because whenever I looked at him, because, of course they tried to make it seem, they tried to play with people by saying, oh, he was a rapper. Because, of course, what's the first thing that comes in your mind when you hear the word rapper? You're going to think young black guy. I don't care what you say. So with that, we already know what they were trying to do for the people who hadn't seen it yet. This kid looks so doofy. I don't know, like, he was in the building by himself.
For this video?
Yeah, no, I'm saying when he shot up the parade last week.
No, he was on the roof.
He was on the roof. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was on the roof. And like I'll go into some stuff which I saw in that video. I don't know.
So he was strategically. So in other words, he was strategically placed by the feds. That was a good job, guys. Round of applause. I'll give you that.
Which I'll go into more after the clip. But here I'll let it continue, and then I'll give you guys some more stuff which I saw, which was held out from this video. I don't remember if what all they said in this one or not. I just know I saved it for you guys. So here we go.
Glorifying mass shootings. One video references a deadly standoff with police.
Sir, we've seen disturbing videos online. Were warning signs missed?
We are reviewing those. Those are going to be a part of any investigation efforts by our task force investigators, Highland Park Police. We'll look at them and we'll see what they reveal.
You will have a gun, and they will tell you that
taken into
they will
custody
talk
on Monday
to you.
after a nearly 9-hour manhunt. You can see Crimo handcuffed and on the ground. Police say he had a second rifle in the car with him.
It was shocking to hear on the news them reveal the name and me know exactly who that was.
Ethan Absler went to high school with the alleged shooter.
Were you ever suspicious that he could be dangerous?
No, there were red flags, but I didn't think...
I'd be scared of him too.
Again, that they were violent red flags. I thought he was troubled. I thought he had, behavioral issues at school.
Law enforcement said the shooter was familiar to police, but they didn't have any indication he was violent. Even the mayor knew him. She was his pack leader when he was a young Cub Scout.
I didn't realize, Mayor, that you knew the shooter. I mean, did you have any feeling that he was disturbed this way?
Not at all. He was a little boy. He was a
Hold
Cub
on a
Scout. He's
second.
very quiet, very.
The mayor was his pack leader. The mayor, current mayor, was his pack leader. Doesn't that seem kind of strange? This kid obviously was around a lot of the powerful people of this town. And for those who don't know it, his father ran for mayor also. And his father, I believe his grandfather had some kind of a political background.
And they had a lot of drama too.
Yeah, a lot of drama.
A lot, unfortunately.
So you hadn't seen him?
I hadn't seen him in years.
Of course.
And after the shooting, the gunman dropped his rifle out here in the street. The ATF was able to immediately track that rifle through their database back to him, and that is how we are told they were able to so quickly identify him. We also learned that he bought 5 guns over the last year: rifles, pistols, and possibly a shotgun.
Give us some receipts,
Nicole.
Show us
All right,
where
Brian,
he got the money from.
so many disturbing details that were.
Well, I think, he could have. Kids like that, man, literally steal money from their parents all the time. So that part doesn't surprise me.
Look, before that made more sense when you wouldn't have known, but now it's like, unless their parents have a bunch of cash, but if you're stealing money out their account, I think everybody has some kind of alert set up on it.
Yeah, but if you're coming from a family of people where you were like, your father has enough money to run for mayor, big enough name, but my issue is looking back to the police. How do you have somebody who they've already came up as a suicide threat? So they've already said, I'm a danger to myself. They've already threatened their family, saying, I plan to kill my family with knives. How does that very person be allowed to buy 5 guns? That's what I'm trying
That part I don't know.
How is that person allowed to buy 5 guns with all these warning signs?
Mm-hmm.
And then his first gun that he got was from his father. His father bought the gun for him. So it's a lot that's just not adding up on this stuff still. And also, if they were able to track him down, and in the report,
excuse me,
he's basically allegedly shot. Well, at that time, he had shot. I don't remember. He shot multiple people. Definitely more than 7 people. You believe that this person is an active shooter who's on the run. According to records, he has 5 weapons.
Yeah, I think
you don't light this car up.
Correct, Marcus. This is just another one where they just pulled out their deck of cards, pulled out whatever his rapper name is. They pulled him out of their list and they just sent him. It doesn't even make sense, the things that these people are shooting at. Again, we talk about this every time. If you're upset about society and things like that, why don't you go after the government? Why don't you go after police? Why don't you go after owners of businesses, right? I'm not advocating that, so don't say that I'm being violent to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they go and do things to harmless people who have no power whatsoever. That's the other part that makes me think that this is all like foolery.
Well, Ali, I wanted to bring up her comment real quick back here. It says Highland Park isn't a big community either. None of the North Shore suburbs are, but this is strange as fuck the way they responded, etc. Everybody knew this person. Everybody knew this person to be off, he's a little quiet, whatever. They knew all these different things about it. I'm pretty sure that they knew that he's the only kid walking around with tattoos on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in that neighborhood. And the fact the cops weren't stopping him every 5 minutes everywhere he goes in a community where that's abnormal shows everybody literally knew who this kid was. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew this kid was somebody to watch out for. Here, let me. Yeah, it says, didn't the father buy the gun? Yes, the father did. Kia says pre-crime is already here in Canada. The organizers of the trucker protests were preemptively arrested before Canada Day because they had something planned, or they say they had something planned. Never know with these government agencies. But there it says white shooters get to live. Jayland and other unarmed blacks don't even get to put their hands up. Sad but true. Baba here is talking the language I think me and Chris are both have alluded to somewhat. I don't know it for a fact, but she says, "Do you think he is a great MK Ultra candidate?" That is very possible. They had the governor and mayor of Chicago out with their statements of the quickness. Yeah, these statements come out quick because they knew this guy. This guy was a known problem. They had too much info about this kid in less than 4 hours. Yeah,
but
that's why it leads back to this.
You know, if he was one of the victims, it would be like, man, you know, we can't get back to you for weeks, and now they got all this. Again, to me, this shit is funny money, and I firmly believe that this is the hands of probably the feds.
This is something also I'm gonna bring up this point because I know that I haven't heard anybody talk about this point. I haven't heard anybody talk about this point. And I'm going to say this before I even put the comment up, because this has been in the back of my head swirling around a lot. When you had the top shooting, and I'm trying to remember what part of New York that was, in Buffalo, basically upstate New York. You have that shooting, a black shooting. And then what did they talk about? What was the first thing I heard? Anti-Semitism. First thing I heard was anti-Semitism. And you on a shooting where black people were killed, white shooter, but you're worried about anti-Semitism because, well, let's just say, white shooter and shoots up a black area. The Jewish community is up in arms. A predominantly Jewish area gets shot up. Many of the victims being Jewish people who were either shot, wounded, or actually killed. Not one single person has said anything about anti-Semitism or this being a hate crime against Jewish people. And I'm wondering why that is. And I started trying to look up Robert Cremo's ethnicity. Because I know some people have said, well, when I see a Jewish person, I know who's Jewish and I know who's not Jewish. Well, I don't. There are plenty of people who I look at, I did not know they were Jewish until they tell me they're Jewish. So I can't just see people and know they're Jewish. So I had to look up, is this kid Jewish or not? You know what? You can't find anything that tells you exactly what he is. So I find it funny. You have a Jewish, basically massacre that happened in a predominantly Jewish area where there actually are Jewish victims. Nobody's screaming anti-Semitism. Nobody's screaming hate crime. But we know that the Jewish community will literally start screaming anti-Semitism and fear about stuff happening to Jewish people, even when it doesn't even happen to a Jewish person. But for some reason, that's not even something even brought up. And I'm wondering why. Why is this kid not looked at as targeting the Jewish community?
Is that the reason they... No, that's not the reason they scrubbed everything about him. They just want to make sure that you don't put two and two together and realize that he was being run by the feds.
And Ali says, I kept waiting for them to say that, actually. that it was an anti-Semitic hate crime. And I was waiting for it too, but I never heard it. And I'm like, this is weird. Why isn't this even been brought up as a remote possibility? And then I start thinking, could it be possible that the kid who did the shooting is Jewish? And nobody wants to talk about the fact of a Jewish kid just shot up a bunch of Jewish people?
Right.
I mean, I don't know that for a fact, so I'm putting it out there. I do not know that for a fact. But I'm saying it's weird to me that anti-Semitism, I have not heard anti-Semitism screamed out from the top of somebody's lungs. Also, I don't know if people know about this. He went to a synagogue a few months back, and some of the people in the synagogue told him he needed to leave. I don't know if that's been reported very much anywhere. So it's just some things about this that are just not sounding right. But yeah, let's see. Well, I'm gonna play a little bit more because it's only a little bit more left of this, and I'm wondering what else
find
they're
the
saying.
part with the cops too.
It's just
we're learning
weird
about now. And you showed us a picture or that painting that's on the side of the house. What did the neighbor have to say about that? Because that honestly, gave so many of us here in the newsroom goosebumps.
Yeah, very, very strange. We heard from people in the neighborhood that there was possibly that painting. We were able to get up on the balcony and see it. What's interesting is there was something also written on the side of the house, very, very large, that was painted over. But what's sort of disturbing about that painting with the character holding the gun is when you look at the gunman's videos online, the face of the character on the side of the house is the same face on the gunman's T-shirts in the videos online.
And Brian, so authorities are saying he showed no signs of violence, but police have been called out there. We know at least twice. We know he was making these videos with threats. There was this painting on the side of the house. It's so hard to comprehend. Obviously, hindsight is 20/20, but it's difficult, not to say that there were warning signs.
Yeah, it certainly appears now, especially in light of the information we got from police in the last couple of minutes, that there were red flags, especially that new 2019 incident that has come to light when he reportedly said that he was going to kill everyone with his collection of knives. And it was so alarming to a family member that they called police, who responded, but said there was not enough probable cause to arrest him.
And all he needed was
Brian
a friend.
live for us tonight in Highland Park. Thank you for that. Thank you for watching.
Not enough probable cause to do anything.
Correct.
And I mean, like when we were in Florida, and I know when I was in Florida, Chris is in Florida, but what I was saying is there's a such thing called a Baker Act. If somebody is believed to be a threat to themselves or others, you can literally Baker Act them. This dude was threatening to kill his whole family. And that's not enough probable cause to do anything. This dude had a lot of things that I'm like, okay, you guys can't do nothing about this at all.
Yeah. Hold on, my phone is ringing. I gotta grab it.
Oh yeah, go ahead. And so that's why I'm like, there's just a lot that's not making sense with this issue. So that's my thoughts on that. Yeah, he was labeled as a threat, but they didn't do anything about him as a threat. I mean, honestly, I don't see why a cop wasn't just literally staked out to watch this dude in this community. They could have literally allocated one cop to just keep an eye on him. They could have literally said, no, this guy does not get guns. Yes, he is. I do believe they said he was from Highland Park, specifically. If Jesuits let me read that again. Jesuits are anti-Semitic. It's not an anti-Semitism because they're Jesuits. Well, here's another thing. That term is thrown around like crazy. People were calling what was it, Bernie Sanders? They were trying to make it that Bernie Sanders is anti-Semitic and he's Jewish. You guys know my feelings on that whole that term anti-Semitism, because it's one of the biggest misnomers ever. Literally, the Palestinians are Semitic people also. And so when Israel is killing Palestinians, is that not anti-Semitic? people need to get out of the mindset of, you know, what these people, what terms they like to use, because they use this anti-Semitism word as a weapon instead of using by the proper nomer that it is. Anytime you're Semitic doesn't necessarily mean Jewish. You can be Semitic without being Jewish. I just want to put that out there. I can call it. I could probably get it. Exactly. Shoot, even if we read this comment out, we get attacked. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, no.
This would have been on the alphabet group, and there would have been threats that he was gonna shoot up the alphabet group or come after them. There would have been a lot of problems. Did you guys know that on his YouTube page, he literally was riding through the same area where the parade was gonna be at? He had videos talking about how he was a big fan of Lee Harvey Oswald. Now, he did show a lot of racism towards black people, too. It's kind of weird that you're trying to basically co-opt black culture and then say you hate black people, too. But, I mean, they stripped a lot of stuff out. Now, I'm pretty sure, I'll put it out there. If you guys go to BitChute, I guarantee you'll probably find all those videos on BitChute. See, Ishmaelites don't count their own. I guarantee you the people who decide who's a Shemite would say that. I'm going down the rabbit hole one-sided. No, I go all sides all the time. Yeah, if you look up the name Cremo, it will trace back to
sound like criminal.
Italian. Yeah, exactly. It traces back to Italian or French, but it does not tell you exactly if he's Italian or French. So that's one thing I like to just leave it at that. It does not tell you for a fact that he is one of the two. You also got to remember, he could be Jewish and have all kind of different names. Because you got to remember, according to Judaism, it goes by your mother. So whatever your father's last name is, that's irrelevant. So I'm saying, according to the community, in the Jewish community, they go by your mother, even though biblically it says that your father is the seed and whoever your father is, that's who you are. But that's for my other page, you know. So we'll leave it at that. But you know, it's just some stuff that's just not really jogging or making much sense. And I just want to, you know, pull up a couple of those points on it, you know. So let's see, what other subject? Ooh, I will put this up. I won't read it. You also got to remember the Italian mob had a whole lot of ties into, and that's kind of funny talking about that. I don't know if you guys heard Sammy the Bull, what he was saying on Twitter lately. Sammy the Bull, can't even talk right now. Sammy the Bull, was it Gravato? I can't remember his last name. Anyway, he was saying that James Caan, who just recently passed on Wednesday, that James Caan was actually part of what was it, the Gambino crime family? I think that's what he was saying. So, I mean, you can take it with a grain of salt. He could be just saying some stuff to get some attention, knowing that James Caan can't push back because he just passed away, or he could be like, you know, Gravano. Thank you.
But didn't that lady break his knees or his ankle or foot or something?
I'm not sure.
I'm talking about in Misery. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
He wasn't moving anyway.
But it also could be the fact of he waited till the dude died and then dropped some truth. And because everybody thinks, you know, Sammy the Bull is a rat and a liar and untrustworthy, that nobody believes it. Yep, Kathy Bates.
Yep, Kathy Bates.
Misery.
She gave him the business.
You're the one talking about people dating themselves, and look at you bringing up Misery.
Damn, that's two. All right, no more.
Exactly.
No more. I'll officially be a viejo, and I don't want to be a viejo.
Well, you're pretty close to one. Well, that's why I keep it low, so y'all don't see all his grades. See, I'm lucky.
For real.
My grades hide, so you guys don't see them all.
Yeah, mine is like starting to come in real pronounced over. Only in this section here, nowhere else. None at my head or anywhere else is weird.
But that's the difference. I got gray chest hairs, gray on my head. I'll leave it at that.
But I'm not gonna dye it either. I'm just gonna leave it. It is what it is.
And the said political measures. Are you guys going to talk about R. Kelly and the possibility of him snitching? We talked about R. Kelly last week. I don't know what would he snitch on. I mean, I don't know if he talk about the elites. That kind of snitching get you killed.
Yeah, that's not gonna get. Well, it's gonna get him released, just not in the way he wants to be released.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, what's going on with the truckers in Cali? Something about only big corporations can control the trucking, not independent. I wouldn't be surprised. California is literally probably the most monopolistic state I've ever been to. And at this count now, I've been to 40 states. They are literally the most monopolistic state I've ever been to.
He said you can't stop the gray anyway. No, you can't, John. So that's why I just roll with it.
Tell him, John, embrace it. John rocking the hell out of it. He making it smooth like one of them soap opera actors.
Beyonce was on that pale horse. I caught the reference there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it. I know Truth Unedited talked about it.
I didn't see his yet.
I'll send it to you. I haven't seen it yet. This is what I was going to talk about next. Sad story. I don't know if you guys have seen the video. Have you seen the video, Chris?
Yeah, I saw it. Unfortunately,
for those out there, I guess I'll put it this way because it is very tragic and it's brutal. Let me know in the chat if you guys want me to show the video. I'll give it a couple of minutes. We'll talk about it in the meantime. I mean, we could just talk about it without showing the video, but if you guys want me to show the video, you haven't seen it. Oh, yeah, okay, then I'll show it because
it's real short and it's dark.
No,
the most impressive thing, not impressive, but the most incredible thing about the video is just the amount of shots fired so quickly.
Well, I'll say it's short if you only look from one perspective. The video I have, I'll just show a snippet. I'll show part of it. It literally has the body camera footage release of all the officers. So it shows it over and over and over from different cops' vantage points. So it's very, very, very explicit. And I mean, I'm pulling it up right now. I'll figure out where to jump in at. Okay, hold on. I got the video up, and we'll skip through a little bit on it.
You found it, or you want me to pull it up?
No. I already have it.
Oh, okay.
Remember I told you I had everything loaded up for this show. Ah, man. This is the one which the police actually released. And then so some people took whichever view they wanted to, and they've kind of chopped it up. Actually, let me go on ahead and put this in the chat now. That way you all can go to this one and be able to pull this video up on your own. Viewer discretion is definitely advised. This is not like you're going to see on the news. This isn't edited out. This is exactly what the police released. I mean, the police department released.
On Monday, June 27, 2022, at 12:30 in the morning, Akron police officers
We'll skip ahead a little.
Had a shot come out of its door.
at the time of the sound.
This is what they claim. I'll back this up a little bit so you guys can try to see it.
They
But
claim that he was.
I have to
They
be
claim
honest,
that he was shooting.
I did not see a flash of light come out of there. Of course, I don't have the ability to zoom in and look at it like they'll probably do when it comes to court. You know, have somebody to actually do video analysis and go in and see, was it actual flash? Did you see maybe he clicked on his light inside? What did he go past a certain where maybe another car or maybe somebody is shining up? You get what I'm saying? Because they do have spotlights on the cop cars. How do you know that one of the cop cars that he passed, it didn't hit the light? So I'm not gonna say for a fact that I even agree with what they're asserting there, because I'm just being honest. I did not see a flash come out of the car.
21 shots fired. That vehicle just had a shot come out of its door.
At the time of the sound, a flash of light can be seen along the driver's side of the suspect vehicle.
Actually, I didn't see it that time.
You did see what?
I did see it that time.
The vehicle pursuit continued on the expressway
Let's
for
back it
several
up.
minutes. And
That way everybody else can have you, because I looked at it on my phone. It's real quick. It's real quick.
Suspect
In fact,
vehicle.
hold on. Let me see if I can slow down the speed. Back speed. All right. You see that?
A little bit, yeah. It looked like there was a couple flashes of light.
Yeah, that's what they're saying was him firing. They said that was him firing. You can see like a little small flash there. So we'll go back normal.
The vehicle pursuit continued on the expressway for several minutes, and the suspect vehicle exited onto the Archwood Avenue ramp. The pursuit proceeded through several city streets until he neared the intersection of East Wilbeth Road and Claremont Street. At that point, the driver slowed down and exited through the passenger side door of the moving vehicle wearing a ski mask. The suspect fled from the vehicle on foot, turning and facing officers momentarily. He continued to run, evading arrest. Officers attempted to safely take the suspect into custody by deploying their tasers. The deployment of tasers was unsuccessful, and the suspect continued to flee on foot. As the foot chase reached the nearby parking lot, the suspect stopped and quickly turned towards the pursuing officers.
And we're gonna throw this again. Anybody's watching this, viewer discretion advised. This is going to be very graphic. This is not blurred out like some of the TV cameras did, or they stop it and you just hear the shots. You will actually see him getting shot here, and you will see a man lose his life. So just warning. And also, I want to cite fair use. We're just trying to show this so we have knowledge and understanding of what was happening here.
Officers reacted by discharging their firearms, striking the suspect.
Mm.
Under visual inspection of the suspect's vehicle, a handgun, a loaded magazine for a handgun, and what appears to be a gold wedding ring were observed in plain view on the driver's seat.
Hold on, let me pause it there.
Is that
I don't know
clip
if you
there?
guys noticed that.
It's empty.
No, it's not. That's a hollow point right there.
No, I'm saying it's not loaded. It's not loaded.
But if you look right here, that's a spent shell.
My man Misha. What's
That's
up,
a spent
man?
shell. So that means that that had been fired. Now, do we know for a fact that it was the suspects? Do we know that that was Jayland's weapon? No. Do we know when that was laid there? Could this have been from an officer planting this gun after the shooting? We do not know that for a fact. So we have to keep all of these possibilities in mind. If the police department was completely trustworthy, then okay, then we could just say it is. But how many times where the body cam has caught officers planting weapons? I mean, even the spent shell casing, they could have shot that off and then laid that in the car. So we do not know if it was his, if he fired it, or if it was planted. So we don't know either way. But I just want to put that clarification out there that in case that anybody is in that area and they're watching this clip and they end up getting brought in for a jury, we do not have confirmation, yay or nay, on any of these things which I brought up.
Body-worn cameras do not provide a 360-degree or three-dimensional view. We will now play 13 body-worn camera videos.
See, this clip has 13 videos. Every officer didn't get there at the time of the shooting.
602, I'm west on Wilbur Firestone. Can I get in?
Still westbound Wilbit. We're passing Evergreen. We're heading towards Maine. Looks like we have some units up ahead at the intersection of Maine. He's slowing down here, slowing down. Stop. He's in a fucking head. He's in a fucking head. Doesn't fucking move the car. You fucking move. Don't fucking move! Don't fucking move! Show me your hand! Show me your fucking hand!
I'll show just one more.
Firestone, can I get in? We're still westbound Wilbit. We're passing Evergreen. We're heading towards Maine. Looks like we have some units up ahead at the intersection of Maine. He's slowing down here, slowing down. Slowing down.
Yeah, I'll stop it. That's enough. Yeah, that's enough. The reason why he was reason why he's in the passenger seat is he climbed he was driving, he climbed across and got out through the passenger side. Yeah, this is the execution. He didn't have to die this way. I completely agree. And let's remember what this traffic stop was even about. He made some kind of moving violation traffic. So he didn't signal, he ran a light, whatever. This is what this turned into. This isn't somebody who they heard just robbed a bank. This isn't somebody who they heard just killed somebody. This is somebody that they were trying to stop because of a traffic violation. Because of a traffic violation, they felt it made sense to call out every car they could and chase this guy down, up and down the streets,
Well, here's
regardless of
the
what can
thing.
happen to anybody. Go ahead.
They alleged that it was a traffic stop, but they said during the pursuit of the guys when they supposedly saw, or no, they didn't say see, they said they heard shots.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you literally shoot somebody to the point where their body is on the ground and starts rolling. He's not rolling on his own trying to get away from the bullets. The bullets are turning his body on the ground.
They turned him around and they handcuffed him.
They don't show that part when they walk up. Well, there is views where they walk up and then they handcuff him afterwards. And do not try to do any CPR on him.
Well, they know they turned him into the Swiss. Well, they knew him in the streets. They weren't going that. They knew he was just done.
My thing, which I never understand about any of these police stations. That's why, like when I was living in Jacksonville made it illegal for them to chase you like that. After you're gone for a couple of miles, if they don't catch up to you, they literally let you go. Because you know why? They have your license plates. You don't think they know where you live and they can just show right up to your house and put a warrant out for you and come get you later? They do not have to chase you up and down the streets. They don't have to do this. And here's something which a lot of people don't know. Or maybe they know, but let's put this in context. Let's say somebody walked out in the street and the cop car hits them and kills them. Let's say he survived. Let's say they didn't shoot him up. Like they took him in like they just did Bobby Cremo, who just shot and killed 7 people.
Mm-hmm.
He, even though he didn't kill that person that the cop hit, would get the murder charge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, do we realize that this is how the system works? If me and Chris decided, let's say we robbed a bank. Not that that's ever going to happen, but let's say we did. And Chris gets killed during the bank robbery. I get charged with murder for Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the cops are the ones who murdered him.
Yep.
This is the sick reality that we're living in. My thing is, okay, he hopped out and ran. Let him run. You guys have his car impounded. What can he do? He's eventually, at some point, going to have to try to come pick up his car. At some point, he's going to have to come into court for something. At some point, you're going to just randomly pull him over. Why even take the risk of possibly running over other people? Why decide that you're going to kill somebody? Because they start running. They say, well, he could have possibly shot at us. But why are you putting yourself in a situation where it is, okay, well, we just got to shoot just to be on the safe side? Why are you even putting yourself in that scenario? I mean, I said that when we talked about the kid in Northern California where they're chasing him around the buildings and then they shoot around the corner. This kid's pinned down, no weapon. But this is how cops do things. Just like I said before, I said that Uvalde shooting, if they would have knew that he wasn't white, they probably would have been in there a lot sooner to kill his ass.
Right? Seriously.
Oh man, let's read some of the comments. Yeah. 30 seconds to wrap up this. So another question I have is, why was he in the passenger? Oh yeah, that's right. I answered that. It's because that one cop car pulled up right next to the driver's seat, so he hopped out and went the other way. Let's put this on the screen. This is an execution. He didn't have to die this way. This is sickening. This did not have to be this way. But when you don't have any regards for human life, this is the kind of stuff you do. These are the decisions that you make. Expendable youth, there's no feeling of humanness or humanity from those cops. Exactly. None. Zero. When decent cops when are decent cops going to call out their the terrorist white supremacist coworkers if they don't like being grouped together? They're not going to ever call out their partners. They're never going to do it, because you know why? You guys ever remember the old movie Serpico? What happened when he tried to be honest? He literally became a pariah. His life was literally in danger. That's why. They all know that the cops are a bigger gang than any gang on the street. And once you piss off that gang can get away with virtually anything. And the moment you do something, they're going to do something or allow something to be done to you. I mean, I know a lot of people think these are movies sometimes when we see they run a cop into a situation and he ends up getting shot. Just like in the military, I knew of sometimes if you pissed off people, sometimes it could happen to just be a man overboard drill. Yeah, I mean, sure, glad to see you here. It says, sickening. I mean, I hate that it's on this subject, but this is stuff we have to talk about. Well, I say it this way, Yipper. We basically are, because I look at it like this. If he would have got pulled over, what's to say that they wouldn't have, and he notified them there was a gun in the car. What's to say that they wouldn't have shot him anyway? What's to say if they got him out and they didn't shoot him, that they wouldn't have all put their body weight on him and killed him just like George Floyd anyway? At this point, I don't see a win for him in this situation. And I don't know if people know this, that he was literally, his girlfriend had just died right before this. So his frame of mind was already in a bad place. Yeah, I mean, this is frustrating. Let's see what else. 36 people shot and 7 killed. Yep. And here's another thing.
How about that guy in wasn't in the Midwest?
He was shot over 60 times.
Hold on, wasn't there a guy in the Midwest somewhere who just killed like 7 cops at a standoff at his house?
He shot 7. I think he killed 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I got to look up the exact numbers, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But they negotiated with him for him to turn himself over, despite the fact that he had just killed a couple of their own.
I think they ended up killing him anyway, though.
No, he's alive.
Really?
They brought his family to the house where he had the standoff at, and his family along with his with the police. They were able to convince him to come outside. So he came out and they arrested him. I mean, they don't even you notice they don't ever even accidentally kill these people the way they do others. There's no rough ride like Freddie Gray. There's no knee in the neck like George Floyd accident, right? There's never any of those things. So that's why it's important for us, especially in those of us with children, mind yourself, mind your surroundings, watch what you're doing. If there's a way for you to avoid any situation involving the law enforcement, do so.
Well, this is another thing I tell people also. If you're getting pulled over by law enforcement, pull into the most crowded possible place you can find. That's one way where they're going to be a little bit hesitant to do some of that shit. You got 50 people standing outside. Some of these cops might hesitate, but when you're by yourself out in the middle of nowhere, it's dark.
They're going to end your life.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is. I mean, but, you know, and we already know, ain't nothing's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. Drive very slow. Where was it at? Oh, I was thinking about that one that I saw down there. Drive very slow and find a crowded place.
Oh, yeah.
You want to have as many witnesses as possible. That's what you want. And also, another thing is, if there are people around, they start firing on you, the much stronger possibility that they're going to hit somebody else who's just walking by. They're going to hit an innocent bystander.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if they do that, it's a whole lot harder to get off from that. And they know that. So, they're not going to shoot. Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was remembering Tamir Rice. Cop pulled up, literally hopped out of the car and shot in like less than 2 seconds.
He pulled over, put it in park, opened the door, withdrew his gun and pulled the trigger. I mean, that had to be in record time.
Yep. Yep. They will still shoot you with your hands up. Or, and this wasn't even a black guy. I don't know if you guys remember this one, that kid in the hallway, where the cop literally already has him laying down. It's multiple cops. Y'all can't walk up to this one dude and just cuff him at that point. You're going to tell this dude to crawl on his knees with gym shorts. Everybody knows if you got on gym shorts and you're walking on your knees, what's going to happen? It's going to start pulling your shorts down.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is trying to keep his shorts up. They know that he does not have a weapon on him.
Mm-hmm.
But the cops shot him down, killed him any damn way. That's the reason why I say in those circumstances, I'm laying my arm, I'm literally stretched out as if I'm doing jumping jacks, and I'm not moving. I'm telling the cop, fuck you, you come up here and you cuff me. I'm not crawling to you. No. I'm not going to sit there and give you a reason to fucking shoot me. I will lay here till literally the sun comes up the next day and we can all just stand here and you scream. I'm not moving because I don't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, most of these cops don't give clear instructions anyway. They say, come to me, freeze. Do I come to you or do I freeze? Which one do I do, dumbass? Another thing is they don't understand auditory exclusion either. They're literally in a cop car riding with those sirens. They don't hear the sirens anymore. So it works the same way for other people. If somebody is staring at their TV, completely tunnel visioning in, and you run in and start screaming at them, they're not going to hear you the first time, idiot.
Mm-hmm.
But most cops are idiots, and it starts off with the training, first and foremost. The training trains them to be idiots. It really does. It tells you the very first thing in your head is, I need to make it home safe. Everybody around me needs to make it home safe. So it doesn't matter what I do. We got to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
You're a cop, that should not be your mentality. Your mentality is to serve and protect the people, not worry about serving and protecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's their first mentality. Me first. Me first. I don't care if I got to unload 3 clips into you, as long as I don't make it home with a scratch. Next thing is everything they do is trained in escalations. Like I told you, did they all have to chase this guy? No, you didn't have to chase him any fucking way. That's the escalation. Taser doesn't deploy and he's running. Okay, and let him fucking run. Bring the chopper out. Another thing, why do they feel that everybody needs to be apprehended right at that moment? What happened to the days when you see these movies and there's these cop standoffs and literally watch them for a fucking day. True, trained by a certain nation, which trains this callousness and lack of care and compassion for other people. When you're policing people and you don't treat them like actual people, this is what you see. Cops literally treat every single person the moment they walk out the door as a potential suspect or somebody that can potentially kill them, like they're in the fucking Matrix. Everybody is the enemy and nobody's the enemy. This is their thinking. This is why they get out and start screaming at the top of their lungs at you, because you are the enemy. That's how they see you. And that's the reason why they do these things like that. In their mind, it doesn't matter if you're a 13-year-old kid like Tamir Rice, you're 80 years old, you're a chubby kid who's out of shape with no weapons on in gym shorts. Everybody in their head is a superhero or a supervillain that's possibly going to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing with what I like to call the IOF. I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out what that means. Let's just switch the defense for offense. Oh, let's see. Let's get in a little bit late. So let me hurry my butt up. I think there's one more story that I have. Oh, let me check back over to Rockfin. I've been over there for a minute. My apologies to everybody on Rockfin. And thank you, Leonard, for translating over there. Let's scroll down a little bit. Yeah, I guess I got a little bit behind. My apologies on some of the comments. I'm sorry I missed some of your comments, Leonard, on the Chicago thing. But the enemy combatants in Iraq have been hit with less bullets. Exactly. When you shoot somebody 60 times, yeah, Leonard says this is so disgusting and warranting whatever response comes of it. It's almost possible that someone directed the police to pick someone out and do this to them. This is the world we're living in. And so anybody who says, oh, well, the Black Lives Matter movement helped. Why is shit like this still happening? If it helped. I mean, I argued this with a neoliberal, not too long ago. Why is this stuff still happening? And this is America, land of the free, home of the brave. Actually, it's home of the fucking cowards. That's what I see it. Yes, and Wesley's true. A cop will mock you if you know the Constitution. Yeah, okay. I'll just put this up there for all y'all to see. Yeah, and training from that same nation too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They have satellite offices there and all that other shit. I don't even understand why you would need an office there. You're a police for your local police. Why do you need an office across the world, literally?
I mean, yeah. I figure a good way to end off the night, I guess, last story. Let's go into something where we get to see the elites have to worry a little bit. Like I was saying, I don't know if you guys have been following what has been going on over there in what has been going on over there in Colombo.
Yes, Ali, for my safety. That's why they need officers abroad.
This was earlier in the day. Oh shoot, let me minimize first. Get this shared on the screen. And let me set this up. Just give me 1 second while I get the other clip ready. Well, oh, that's right. I guess I got to do it separate. I can't do it all together. But hop over here, share my screen. This was kind of funny, and we need something kind of lighten the mood after seeing that. But this is not just a pool party, people. What you're seeing here, what we're about to watch, says thousands of Sri Lankan protesters angered by economic crisis storm into the president's official residence in Colombo. Here are protesters swimming in the president's pool.
It went all out.
That's one video I wanted to share real quick. And here is let's find that other one from Annie Jacobson. Let's see, drop that down. I don't know if you guys, let's see. You see the size of these protests? Go back to the beginning. So when we showed the pool, what was going on, that's what was going on outside. That was the front of the residence where all those people were at. That's what was going on. Sucks. I hate that you gotta go to work, Gipper. Says, yes, Baba, that's an insurrection. That's a real insurrection. And like I told you guys, all the different, media outlets, even though some of them are complete shit libs or whatever, they can all do some good work every once in a blue moon. Let's see, what did I do with the clip? Yeah. I guess I have to pull it up somewhere else. I guess I didn't send it to myself. Give me 1 second here, and I'll pull it up. The video that I just saw and went in pretty good detail on all what's going on over there. And gives you guys a little bit more clips of what it looks like there. So there we go. My history. Let's go into this real quick. Just 1 second. There we go. Let's see. Stop that and bring it up. All right, here we go.
And if you're just joining us, there's been complete pandemonium of Sri Lanka, where the protesters have stormed into the presidential palace. And according to reports that have come in, the Sri Lankan president Gotabaya Rajapaksa has fled from his presidential palace. And this is, of course, what is unfolding on the streets of Sri Lanka, and also in terms of what's been happening after the protesters decided to storm inside the presidential secretariat. So this is what the scene looks like inside the presidential secretariat after the protesters stormed inside the presidential secretariat. That was very heavily, that had a lot of police presence, that was very heavily guarded. But despite of that, thousands of protesters who had surrounded the presidential secretariat forced their way in, and this is what the scene looks like, where hundreds of angry protesters have barged in. They forced the president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, to flee. And in these videos, the protesters can in fact be seen inside of the bedrooms used in the presidential secretariat. The protests in Sri Lanka have clearly spiraled out of control. Many protesters who stormed inside the secretariat were even seen enjoying in the swimming pool there. Unprecedented scenes from the presidential secretariat. The president has, of course, fled from the presidential palace. So unprecedented scenes playing out inside of the presidential secretariat. This is, of course, one of the small swimming pools inside of the presidential secretariat that has now been used by the protesters who barged inside of the secretariat by driving the security guards out. Now, remember, what's been unfolding on the streets of Sri Lanka is in many ways the anger of the people that's being expressed because of the acute shortage, the chronic shortage of food, fuel, and other essential supplies. The simple fact is, because of the government's lack of financial management, Sri Lanka has run out of its foreign exchange reserves. Without the dollar, Sri Lanka is unable to purchase any food or any fuel. It has resorted to rationing of food and fuel. Fuel is not sold to everyone. There are restrictions on the amount of food that can also be purchased. And this is what has made the people extremely angry. And these are some unruly scenes from inside of the presidential secretariat after the protesters barged inside, and complete pandemonium and a breakdown of the government's order, where the protesters have now virtually taken over the presidential secretariat and the streets of Sri Lanka.
Oh shit, this is the wrong one. But they probably got more info. Let's skip it.
Completely surrounded the presidential secretariat. The armed security guards at that time were completely powerless in taking on the thousands of people who were demanding for answers and who were demanding for accountability from their government. The president, of course, fled from the presidential palace, and according to reports that we've got, he's been taken to some place, an undisclosed area, where he's being kept safely by the military. But the people have now taken over the streets in Sri Lanka. These are the scenes from in front of the presidential secretariat in Colombo, and thousands of people are out on the streets. They've taken over the presidential secretariat. Ranil Wickremesinghe, who remember had been brought in just a few days back as the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, has been making some desperate statements. He's convened the cabinet and he's also expected to shortly put out a statement. But what can now be said by the political leaders when people seem to have completely lost faith in the government? Now, for several months, the protesters have been demanding that Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the strongman president of Sri Lanka, had to go. The slogan of these protests was Gota, go home. But as part of that, Gotabaya Rajapaksa decided to dig his heels and stay on. But right now, according to in the manner in which things are unfolding, Gotabaya Rajapaksa is in hiding. He was forced to flee from the presidential palace. He's presently being kept in an undisclosed location by the army. The protesters have gone completely berserk. There's complete pandemonium on the streets of Sri Lanka, and it's an extremely difficult situation which the authorities there will have to confront with and resolve, because what is going to unfold in the next few hours is something that needs to be seen, because things can clearly spiral way out of control even from here. And also, my colleague, Dasani Atavda, is on the streets of Colombo. She's been tracking the story very closely for us, and she sent us this.
But yeah, I'll stop it there. I mean, you guys can get the gist of what's really going on. Nope. I just saw this. I'll answer this one and I'll hop back in. No IMF. Nope. See, this is what happens when the U.S. and other superpowers don't have a need for you. If they don't have a need for anything in your country, they let your country do whatever the hell it's going to do. They leave it completely alone. But if we were getting diamonds or some kind of ores or minerals or whatever, you would have either the United States in there putting that down, or the United States wouldn't have let it get to that point. You would have Russia involved, China involved, even India might get involved. Well, no, India's kind of the only nation that they're really worried about is Pakistan. Pakistan's the only people they care about. The rest of you guys can kind of fuck off. China, they kind of got a tentative, we don't really like you, but we'll keep the peace for right now, and we'll do what business we have to. So let's get let's see. With everything that's going on, I smell a lockdown soon. I would not be surprised. There's a reason why you can see this on Indian news, but you won't hear this, or not even close to this kind of detail on BBC or any American newspapers. They don't want people thinking about, wait a minute, why don't we push back? They don't want that, because then a real insurrection will happen, not that BS that happened on January 6th.
That was a guided tour.
Yeah, the framing is very interesting. Oh, they're going berserk and this and that. Plenty of neighboring states could have loaned them money or whatever to help prop things up. But no, they let this nation fall apart on purpose. They literally cut off all resources from helping them once they realized that they were of no value to them. And they'll let the leaders have to deal with it. Now, granted, don't be a corrupt leader. That can help, but even if this guy wasn't a corrupt leader, this fate was still coming his way. Before the authority regarding good evidence, it was lightning strike at the stones and could be directed energy. Yes, make sure to send me that. And I guess you can send it to me, whatever. You can send it to me on Discord because I know you're on there. Oh, there it is right there. I'll make sure to come back and get it. I don't think it'll let me pull it up this way. But yeah, I'll make sure to get it. Yeah, America, keep spreading this democracy. Oh, speaking of that, Baba, I don't know if you saw what Mexico's been saying. Mexico's been saying some stuff out of there that's really ticking off some people. Let's just say it was on the same lines of what we were, that phrase that I really don't like, anti-Semitic. It was going down that lane. So you guys should definitely check it out. I'll take the whole pool, exactly. Interesting how the NATO types want this to happen in other parts of the world in a sense for various reasons, but when the same thing happens in the States, it's basically treason. Exactly. Because they want those nations to fall apart so they can come in, do what they're going to do, and be able to exert more pressure on the back end. I wouldn't be surprised if this was fueled so that the U.S. can get a little bit of power in there, because I don't know if you guys think about this often, but Sri Lanka is very close to India, and India is playing both sides of the fence. Another way you could put more leverage on India is to be a little bit closer and watch what they're doing. So that's just my personal theories. I could be wrong, which hopefully in the future, if I can get, there's somebody I'm targeting in particular, which I really want to talk to him, but is a much larger account than mine, so I'll have to see. A lot of those bigger accounts get really, really busy, and they don't check through their thousands of messages. So if I can get a hold of this man, he's brilliant. Choosy says, I'm not going to lie, Marcus. I said a prayer out loud, crying and asking for help for all of us the afternoon before the stones morning. If this is lightning, well, I'll just say my prayer is being answered every day. I'll leave it at that. Exactly, Streets. What does Sri Lankan government expect when there is no food, essentials, and money?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure people allow this. I see Yona in the building. What's up, Yona?
Yona, what's good, man?
And I see Tina in here.
What's up, my girl Tina? What's up, Tina?
Make sure you rub shadow on that bald head. and give that little guy a hug for me. That's evidence is that when you slow down the surveillance video as logic before the authority, clearly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at what you were saying because I just threw that theory out there. I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know that you had evidence on it, but I'll definitely look at that, Choosy. Thank you for that. Said it's all sunburn. Oh, well then what you got to do is just tapping right on the top of it real good. No, I'm just playing. I love my boy.
Better get some vitamin E and coconut oil or something.
Actually, what I would advise is, and for my skin condition,
wear a hat,
a lot of
don't
different
go
creams.
outside.
No, get some for one, Neosporin, vitamin E, and aloe vera. If you got the aloe vera plant, that's the best thing. Just slice it right open, just rub it straight over his head. It won't take long to dry. It'll cool it. It'll make it feel better. And then you take that vitamin E and you mix it with the Neosporin and just rub it over his whole head. Trust me, he'll be feeling real good real fast. Yes, this does advance a larger goal, Ali.
Hey, putting up stuff in the chat.
Yes, yeah, we both slathered in aloe vera, but yeah, vitamin E and Neosporin works amazing. Yeah, that does help with the soothing. I've never been sunburnt before, but I imagine it sounds terribly painful.
You never had sunburn, Marcus?
Never.
Really?
I'll just get darker.
Nah, kid. I went to Mexico once. Man, that thing was like, whew.
Yeah, but you got to remember, I've been to the damn desert. Now,
yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean,
now granted, I had the long sleeves on.
Oh,
and I was wearing one of those Dooney hats, the ones that come out like that with the brim all the way around.
Oh yeah.
So that helps block the sun quite a bit. I mean, so I was very fair. Exactly.
Yeah, but mess around, sit out there in that sun long enough.
Get in that desert. That's
your ass gonna burn too.
That desert, boy, is. I don't have enough melanin for that. You know, I need to be like them dudes down in Senegal, not Senegal. What is that place? The Nubians that we call the blue black. And they can take it.
Oh yeah,
they be out there walking around no shirt on. Like, what's your problem?
That's different.
What are you complaining about? That's when the coffee has no sugar or milk in it.
None.
That's just straight black coffee, and that's that like thick Arab coffee. That stuff is like it's like oil. It's like sludge almost. It's so damn thick. All right. But yeah, that's because I don't have I don't do Discord. I'm a young boomer. Well, just whichever way you want to send it to me, you know, my email is up there, and so I'll definitely check it, sir. Oh well, and And anything else you got for me, just send it to me. Like Matt Marks always sends me a lot of good shit. So I appreciate any, and like I tell people, if there's stories or whatever that you guys have seen or whatever, let me know. You know, this is how we stay on top of these stories and bring attention to stuff that's not getting attention to. Medicine you gather, use the force you must, weeds you will find, baked you will be. Yes, Yona always giving us that that Yoda knowledge. Let me check over to the Rock fan real quick, see if there's anything else over there. Nope, nothing right now, but I'll throw this out there again. I will be sitting in for I'll be sitting in for
Blue
Lucy
Moon.
From Blue Moon Red Wine. And we will be talking we'll be talking a little bit of well, Greg will be producing the show, so he has a couple of questions for me as far as like the war in Bosnia, what was going down. I've talked to some of you guys and told you guys you know, a little bit about my story and involvement in that back in the early 2000s. I wasn't like in the heart of the stuff that was going on. I was part of the peacekeeping after the fact and training and different things like that. But we'll go more into that tomorrow. For those who watch my Hebrew apologetics, I will be getting back to having some lessons sometime soon. I had the COVID stuff, and then, you know, just trying to get in the swing of things.
Just busy.
For I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the Creflo Dollar thing.
No, I haven't
oh
seen
my
that, but I'll look
goodness!
for it.
Anybody who like follows any of that stuff, I mean, I watch my boy Deacon like literally slice him up in so many different ways. Creflo Dollar. I'm gonna start. I heard somebody come up with the greatest name for him. They don't call him Creflo Dollar. They call him Creator Flow. I call him a damn demon. That's what I call him. A thief. And man, he might as well be Goldie because he is nothing but he does nothing but pimp his people. So Baba, it goes into 6G. What are we talking about on HBO and that parts of immigration in the setting in the UK? Yeah, that 6G, we talked about it before. You guys need to watch out for it. And it's not like just watch out for it. It's going to be more and more and more stuff coming up, and it's going to start. All of these things are going to start becoming more and more obvious. Yeah. What about TD Jakes? Actually, I call him TD Snakes. So I talk about all of them, you know. Actually, that's what I need to do. I just need to start pulling up some of their sermons and just proving how they're BS. I've been doing more like teaching some of the proper stuff, but I need to get back into doing some just ripping apart how they're so full of it on so many different things. And I think some of y'all who are not even Bible people will find some of that entertaining and give you some ammunition to help tear down, you know, the BS Christian church. So, like I say, I believe in the Bible, but I do not believe in, the comparative analysis of the bullshitters. Yeah, I'm gonna do, like I did one a while back ago about tithes. And what I think is, since more people have been calling them out on the fact that they're corrupt and that they've been just stealing money as far as tithes to just pad their own net worths, more of them have been coming out every now and then and trying to give the impression that they're correcting what they've been teaching wrongly. But what what Creator Flow Dollar, what he's doing in there is he's trying to cast off one theory to create a new way to make more money. And so if you just see the little clips, they give the impression, oh, no, I've been teaching some stuff wrongly. But if you watch the whole thing, you'll realize all he's trying to do is find a way to manipulate more money out of people. But yeah, I'll leave it there on that. Yeah, Chris, you got it. I'll send you the one from Deacon.
Yeah, that's fine.
Deacon was going in on him. I mean, just well, one of these, I'm gonna make a short clip of it. He literally reads something in the Bible and gives the wrong pronunciation. And when he gives that wrong pronunciation, it makes for a very bad sentence. It sounds nasty. I'll just say something that you should not hear a preacher say, or they shouldn't say anything that sounds like what he's saying. So don't worry. Wait for that short clip that I'm gonna put out on it. It's be like a little maybe 10-second clip, but I'll do it on my Hebrew Apologetics page. It's gonna be freaking hilarious. Send something, send your something seed. These oh yeah, you're talking about your seed money. Bank flow holla. I like that. That's a good one too. Oh yeah, I hate these prosperity doctrine preachers, and I feel like even if you guys don't, I know I got a lot of I got plenty of atheists who listen to me also. I'm telling you, you guys want to know how to start cutting their bullshit doctrine? Come to me. I'll give you the answers. But on that note, I guess we're going ahead. You said which video is about tides when you do one about crypto and TD? I did one like a while back ago, and I go into like scripturally how what they're saying is nonsense about tide. In fact, let me see if I can pull it up. I could probably pull that one up real quick and drop the link.
Thank you, Kaya.
Drop the link in the chat. And that'll be the last thing I'll do, and then we'll get on out of here for tonight. I know I probably need to stop talking, save my jaw, let it get a little bit better. I know Chris is a little tired over there.
Yeah, man, I'm on like, I got up at like 6 o'clock this morning, so I'm on like, I'm almost at 24 hours straight.
Jeez.
And I was out in the sun all day, so I'm like really
It's drained you. Well, and I noticed it doesn't seem like it's been that bad lately in Florida as far as, hot.
No, it was really hot last week. Today was hot as hell too.
And I was seeing stuff that was saying like 83, and I'm like, that's the high? 83? What the
Oh
fuck?
yeah, maybe in some places. Yeah, earlier.
Oh, this was Jacksonville because I was reading an article.
Mm-hmm.
They're opening a peach cobbler store, like peach cobbler restaurant. I was like, what? It looks so good. I tweeted it out. I don't know for any of you people who follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for it.
But they got a peach cobbler restaurant they just opened.
That's weird.
I guess I gotta open it. I'm like, dang, a whole restaurant of about peach cobbler. I mean, I like peach cobbler, but how many different peach cobbler things you gonna have going on?
Correct.
So let's see, share, copy. Yeah, this is my video that I did on tides. It's 34 minutes, so it's not super long.
For real, Street.
There it is. It's 88 where you are. Cool.
Seems about right.
So yeah, I just put the link to that one about the tides in there. I will be, like I said again, I'll be filling in for Blue Moon Red Wine. And for those of you guys on here, give them a or give her a subscribe. She's, I think, maybe 60 away from hitting her 1,000 to getting monetized. So hopefully we can help try to push her over the limit and get up to that point. Us, we're probably not gonna sniff 1,000, not on here. I see us probably hitting 1,000 on Rockfin far before we will get close on here. So at that point, we're gonna start moving more and more of the operations over to to them because they're actually showing us that we can get a fair shake in this game. So that's it. It's been fun. You guys all have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Do something nice for each other. And as Chris always says, watch out for you and yours.
That's it.
This has been the Political Matrix. I'm your host, Marcus Young Morpheus Cage. Oh yeah, I forgot one other thing. I am working on a bunch of different interviews that I can try to get up there, and it's gonna be different interviews. So I'm gonna have some musical artists coming on, and this is gonna be basically almost non-political. So just to hear a little bit of different stuff. A couple people with strange music. Got somebody from she's an artist, and she gets into a lot of plant-based stuff and putting positive good stuff in your body. So make sure you guys check that out. I will plug it before, as you guys know, because it'll be on Sundays. I might even go live for a little bit tomorrow on the other channel, just to it'll be open. Whatever you guys want to talk about, anybody who wants to hop on, I might even just open it up to all my other content creator friends that can get on there. I'm going to shoot to try to get tech on there too eventually. But yeah, I mean, I would love to get Tech 9 on there, but it's not tech. So yeah, much love to you, cuz, hey, give that family a hug, kisses for me, all my little cousins there. Oh yeah, by the way, did you know that Crystal moved to Phoenix? I just talked to her the other way. Sorry, talking directly to family right now. But yeah, Crystal, I just talked to her and D, and they moved to Phoenix. So I don't know. I might have to take one of these weekends, 3-4 day weekend, and I think it's like a 4 to 6 hour drive out there. Well, I don't drive as fast as I used to, so it's probably about 6 hour drive. So I'm gonna go out there. Check it out. And I'm still planning, Chris. I'm still planning to come out to South Florida. So I will be out in that area. I already told Nico I'm going to be out there too. Fuzz, I told him I'm coming out there. So I'm going to link up with all y'all when I get out there. And anybody who is, a listener of the Political Matrix and you guys are out in that area, make sure to give a holler and you guys can possibly meet me in person. That'd be fun. I like to meet some of y'all face to face. So. That said, we're going to get on out of here now. So y'all have a good one. Much love to everybody in the chat. Much love to everybody who's watching later on, whether you're on YouTube, Rock Fan, or you're watching us through Twitter. When am I coming home? I'm probably, even though I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I plan on coming home this year for Thanksgiving. So I'll be back in KC in November. So anybody else who's, besides family, whatever, let me know. I'll reach out. I think was it Nick from Revolutionary Blackout? He's in KC Mo, so I might try to see if maybe we can do a Political Matrix kind of tag team. That's funny. Prop is a funny guy. Talking about when he's pretending he's Gonzalo Lira. Funny. But yep, this Political Matrix. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, guys.